what he did, I've heard different days. It could be 11 days or so ago. All right, so let's address some of the questions. First of all, the spitting. You know how I am about that? I have just I don't see how you can ever spit on anybody. I really don't. Kicking out the vehicle that ICE was in, breaking the taillight, he engages with them. Now, we're not saying this video is indicative that this guy should be killed. I'm not saying that. Some idiots might be saying it. What I am saying is what I think happened here is this. I don't think this guy was always a radical. I think he was an ICU nurse. And he started to get radicalized very much in the way that Ms. Good did, romanticizing what's going to happen when you interfere with the feds. And now he's dead. And it does give you, though, a sense of how he would act in a confrontation based on this confrontation. And you know what it does? And I think we have to be careful about this. I'm not going to be one of these hacks on the right that then wants to bury this guy just because the left has lionized him. I think what we ought to do is give you the full picture, and the full picture shows how he was radicalized in this. Now, that doesn't mean he might not have been someone who was caring, a nurse before that, but at a certain point, it appears he wasn't doing that anymore. He was devoted to this, and he was getting into it in a violent way with ICE. This tape has been verified by everybody. The parents say they may have talked to him after this. So give the full picture of this. It's not heroic. It's romanticizing that. Doesn't mean he should have been shot, just like with Ms. Good. Doesn't mean that she should be dead, but she'd be alive today if the police had been there and prevented her from interfering with federal agents. Or if somehow or another she didn't romanticize what she was up to here that resulted in constantly taking these actions. So do you see the pattern? I think he constantly was doing things too. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to end up dead, but it means that you're rolling the dice. And of course, he had every right, concealed carry in that situation, but judgment call, if you know you're probably going to be confrontational and you're carrying in that manner, is that a good judgment? I support his right, but I also support my right to say it's not a good judgment. Now, Homan today, spectacular. And it appears, and I'll play you bits of it throughout, with Tom Homan, that they do have some kind of agreement where they are going to hand over. Now, I'm not sure about the people they already released. That seems to be up in the air. But they are going to hand over people that were incarcerated, and then they didn't tell ICE, and ICE wanted a detainer on them, and they wouldn't give it, and they can't transfer it in jail. That's going to happen. And Homan indicating a drawdown of ICE will be underway. Now, what this is Trump's sensibility here in a good sense. You see these people out there saying, oh, people will never go for it. And we'll find out, 855-839-1210, that they won't go for it because this looks like Trump giving in. I don't think you're going to react that way. I'm not reacting that way. They're also saying Trump's going to have trouble with the Second Amendment crowd because now he blurts stuff out, doing a lot of interviews. He doesn't shut up. He shouldn't have said the way he said it about this guy's right to carry. True. But I don't think Second Amendment people are turning on him for what, Gavin Newsom or somebody like that? No, not in a million years. That's not happening. It's all a left-wing fantasy. So here's Homan, the opening today. This is cut 20, Henry. Homan making the point, even though downsizing, we are not surrendering the mission at all. Here's Homan.
Can you clarify the rules of engagement on? Right here. Thank you so much. Mr. Homan, Giordano has a loan with the Associated Press. Based on how you have described these changes in the mission, can you be more specific about the objectives of Operation Metro Surge? If what you have described changes the parameters for interior enforcement only in Minnesota or also in Maine and other places? And finally, when will you consider that those objectives will be achieved and this operation will end? Or is it in terms of agents on the ground, in terms of who you're targeting for arrests?
The Withdrawal of law enforcement resources here is dependent upon cooperation. Like I said, one agent arresting one bad guy in jail means less agents on the street. We have some agreements. We got more to talk about how we're going to implement these agreements. But as we see that cooperation happen, then the redeployment will happen. Look, target enforcement operations should happen across the nation. That's what we've done for decades. And with target enforcement operations, I've done many of them. It just makes it safer for everybody. When we know exactly what we're looking for, what is his criminal history, what is his immigration history, where's he live, is he in an apartment complex versus a house, has he got a known record for having weapons, it's safer for everybody. Then we know what type of resources we need to go. And, it just makes this operation cleaner, more efficient, and it's proven less violence when we know exactly what we're getting into and we can take the necessary precautions to keep everybody safe. Some of the operations that I've been involved in, we know there's children in the house based on surveillance. So we know you got to be a little bit different when you go in that house because there's going to be children present. So target enforcement operations, the way we've always done it, I think we got away from a little bit. And we're going to make sure we do target enforcement operations. And look, and I will say it again, we are not surrendering our mission at all. We're just doing it smarter.
All right. He said it wasn't perfect, et cetera. If you see that as criticism, I don't think so. I think it's justified. The wild stuff Bovino and Christine Ohm were saying, and Trump has ratcheted this in. So they are going to start to, as I said the other day, maybe by the end of February, be out, target it. And he is going to have, now I guess state troopers too, but also he's going to have cordon. He mentioned this throughout. I'm thinking, Paul Morrow, you must have gotten to him. We have enough ICE agents here. They should have cordoned off these people. There's a memo that went out from him saying don't engage with them. When they're saying stuff as hard as it is, do not say stuff back. Do not engage with them. Don't be near them. We're here to do these operations, not to engage with them. Couldn't be happier with it. All right, 855-839-1210, you get a line. And as far as Mikey Sherrill, this is going to be challenged big time in court. All right, great side question today. And I'm going to see, because Roe didn't know either, Henry. Somehow or another, we were talking about, it was Anton Chekhov's birthday, and it must have come to you, Henry, the phrase Chekhov's gun.
Correct.
Meaning if you introduce something, but particularly a gun, I guess,
yes,
then you're going to have to use it in the second act.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, if you introduce something, an element to a play or a story,
right.
that it should be used into that next act because you don't want to just introduce something for,
right.
giggles.
The gun that appears in the first act will be fired.
It will be fired,
act.
yes.
You've heard of it, Sean, before. Chekhov's gun.
Oh, yeah.
You did? I did
it's
not.
A very
And Roe
common
didn't know.
literary term.
Yeah,
I said the same thing
literature.
yesterday.
I don't think it's that common. Okay, if you guys knew it, that's good. We'll see if people knew it. Oh, common literary term.
Yeah, it's the setup and payoff of setting things up like that, so you don't have anything just nonsense out there in your story.
So we're looking for it, and I would prefer, like you could call in and say Braille was named after a guy that's Braille, but I think it's better if the name is attached to it, and we know, like
that person has
Chekhov's
ownership
gun.
of that.
Yes,
that
the name.
object.
Yeah. So I'm going to say Phillips screwdriver. It's a perfect example. You don't say a Phillips, and is that some guy's name? No, Phillips screwdriver. All right, Henry, what's yours?
Yeah, I got a few here to get the ball rolling.
Okay.
How about the Graham cracker, named after Sylvester Graham, who was a Presbyterian minister and a dietary reformer. He was big on vegetarianism, and this the Graham cracker was sufficient in his dietary needs. Another one I'm going to take off the board is a drink that you really don't want to be having at the bar, and that would be a Molotov cocktail named after Vyacheslav Molotov, who was a congressman, one of Stalin's closest allies, actually.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, named after him.
Hey, get Molotov in here. It's not going well.
And then the other one I had to take off the board because, I always got to hit sports, and I know someone was going to come up with this one. It's the Mendoza line.
I had that. I was going to save that, but yes.
Yeah, infielder Mario Mendoza was known for hitting
under
in
200.
and around the 200 mark in Major League Baseball.
Staying there forever.
Yeah, 5 times hitting under that mark. And it's commonly used for guys like him, like a middle infielder that just doesn't have any pop. All they have is their glove. So
well, I think it's also made its way into pop. If you say Mendoza line, when whatever you're talking about, people know you're drawing a metric there. Yeah,
you're subpar. If you're under that line, you're subpar.
Yeah. Okay, Sean, do you have one?
I've got a couple.
Okay.
I made a little list here. The first 2 that came to mind were Schrodinger's cat and Pavlov's dog.
Yes.
Yeah. The classic combo. But then one of the more out of the box ones that I got, and I don't know if it's fully applicable, would be John Madden football.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
it works. Yeah. Madden's synonymous with playing an NFL
they say
video
Madden,
game.
particularly when they shorten it in a way that, but John Madden football,
That's what it started out as.
Yeah.
Madden 91, Madden 92, Madden 93, and so on.
Yeah. All right, so hit us with that and try to make it not that the name is not identifiable. We don't, like Phillips Screwdriver or Henry or Sean's, the name is prominent. It's a possessive of it. It's not like they named a disease after a guy and you're unsure, what that is. It has to be his name. Think of an apostrophe there if possible. Sometimes it's not.
Thought about taking a few diseases off the board.
Yeah, disease. These guys will call in with them. All right. So 855-839-1210. That's how you get in. And Mikey Sherrill has officially gotten the juices flowing here. This nonsense, it's illegal. We're going to see a huge battle on this. Can you imagine the entire state with whistles? These women out there screaming, ICE is here, ICE is here. Proceed to Collingswood. ICE is over there on Haddon Avenue. Is that what it's got? That's what the portal is. That's what she wants. That's how crazy this has gotten. She must have missed her timing, though. Homan has diffused a lot of this just in this news conference today. All right, we're seeing a possible government shutdown threat. Jeff Van Drew will be here to talk about that. And we also have the guy at 12:30 who says, essentially, the substation is responsible or potentially responsible for all these injuries that your 49ers suffered, in ungodly and similar type of injuries. How could that be? What does it mean for you and me? Electromagnetic and all that stuff? I'll let him explain. He's starting to gain credibility. People are paying attention to this. And it's going to be interesting to see how far they go. And also, I'll tell you, coming up, one of ESPN's most prominent names was on Philadelphia Sports Talk Radio and says something big is coming with the Eagles. And I'll tell you what the speculation is. And I'm hoping it is for talk radio fodder. It will be unbelievable, the fodder. Yes. And I actually sued in court around this before. I lost 4-3 in a superior court, but I almost won around this. Yes. What the heck is that? I'll tell you coming up here on Talk Radio 1210.
Kale and Company weekday mornings 6 till 10.
I don't think most of these people, whether they're left or right, are aware that the average common person does not really care what you have to say, because for decades you haven't had to live like the average common person. Rosie O'Donnell, you're not worried about the gas prices. The biggest hypocrisy of it all, or maybe the saddest joke of it, is the people that actually said they needed to leave America because of Donald Trump. Yet they're either coming back or they can't stop talking about him from another country when they leave. They can't quit it. It's worse than nicotine.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
The new era of UFC on Paramount Plus continues. Live from Australia. Featherweight champ Alexander Volkanovski.
He is an animal.
Defends his belt at home in an explosive rematch against Diego Lopez.
You gotta be kidding me!
And the always dangerous Dan Hooker.
Yes.
Throws down with powerhouse Benoit Saint-Denis in a high-action lightweight showdown.
Oh! There's never been anything like this. Let's go.
UFC 325, Saturday, January 31st, only on Paramount Plus.
Cancer. If you've been diagnosed recently, it doesn't have to be as devastating as it may seem. Chances are you didn't just get cancer recently. What you need to do is visit the team at Innovative Medical Associates. Dr. Molly Fantasia, the PhD doctor and founder of Innovative Medical Associates, has helped hundreds over the years with her unique hydration protocols geared specifically to cancer support. The team is comprised of Dr. Molly Fantasia and her doctors, plus her outstanding nursing staff. With almost 30 years in practice, Innovative Medical Associates can help you navigate the journey through cancer and beyond. To set up your initial complimentary consultation, contact Innovative Medical Associates at 856-489-0505, 856-489-0505, or visit their website, innovativemedicalassociates.com. That's innovativemedicalassociates.com. Make that appointment, and you'll be on your way to treating cancer as only Innovative Medical Associates knows how.
Hola, amigos! BetMGM tonight with me, Brad Evans and Pat Boyle, covers the biggest sports stories nationwide, live and interactive. From the build-up to the big game in Santa Clara to the road to March in college hoops. As the night's games are getting underway, we're following along for the stories that matter. Tap in. BetMGM tonight with me, Brad Evans and Pat Boyle, live and interactive, Monday through Friday night starting at 6 Eastern, presented by BetMGM on Westwood One Sports, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
There's a reason that potato chips don't come in a clear bag.
There's only 8 chips in this bag.
That's why. It's only about 2/3 full. The rest is air. It's a lot like opening up your 401k at retirement. You get about 2/3 of it, and the rest goes to Uncle Sam. Jim Cipriotti at the Retire Ready Financial Group can help. His tax mapping process can help forecast what your tax bill will be in the future, and that way you can build a strategy now to potentially decrease your tax bill in retirement. In other words, more for you and less for Uncle Sam. Call today for your complimentary retirement tax mapping report, 610-894-7415. That's 610-894-7415, or find them online at retirereadyfg.com. And get Uncle Sam's greedy hands out of your retirement.
Hey, you've had enough.
With a complimentary tax mapping report from Jim Cipriotti. Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC, NPN number 2083768.
Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet? Do it today at 1210 WPHT.
All right, Dom Giordano show. Even for this woman, remember when she held the head of Trump in her hands? Comedian Kathy Griffin. She has offered Jack Smith on Twitter, Jack, I want you to take me out on a date. And then after that, yes, you got it, Jack. I'm all yours.
Isn't she going out with like a 23-year-old or something?
Is what?
Isn't Kathy Griffin going out with like a 23-year-old
Oh, I didn't know
or
that.
something? I thought so.
Oh, okay. Well, she'd rather have Jack Smith. It's the beard. It's the anti-Trump. Can you imagine whispering to me, mandamus writ?
She's got a pick of the litter here.
But on Twitter, even for her, it's remarkable stuff. It is just the lowest of low. Let's see if Jack Smith takes her up on it. All right. On the side question, one that occurred to me, there's several. We'll take off as we go along, so get in early. Miranda rights is a perfect example, named after this guy who I believe was in Arizona, et cetera, and how you've seen it in every TV drama. You have a right to remain silent. Anything that you say will be held against, And different people say it in different ways. They almost spit it at the perp when they're doing it. But Miranda rights would be a good one. All right, so get in early today. A lot of good ones on this, and it's all in the call. But make sure it's clearly identifiable, the naming here. We don't need some backstory on this of guessing who the name is or not. Just go right for it. Okay, couple of other things. Krasner. This has gone crazy now. And on Twitter, people nationally that don't see it every day like we do are like, what the heck? Just like with Rochelle Bilal, same thing. What's wrong in Philadelphia? Well, it's ignorant. They're a mob. They're progressive. But with Krasner, the thing that's getting them is, who is it that has spoken out and say, hunting down ICE agents, this goes bridges too far? Other than an occasional Republican, Talk Radio 1210, things of that nature, to my knowledge, not one Democrat has said, no, this is way over the line here, what he has been saying, particularly with the mob behind him. All those people paid to stay around him there as if he's a North Korean leader. So the national stories on Krasner in the last 24 hours are unbelievable. And again, when we used to do Krasner Land, we were the ones that knew, but nationally now, we got to get this out there, the resume of this guy. It's unbelievable. Has any Democrat said, no, I'm not with that, with all due respect, that goes too far? Nope, they haven't. Has Josh Shapiro been asked about it by the fawning media? Josh, do you want to condemn these remarks? Do you want to say they go too far in this atmosphere? You say it about Trump, that's fine. This guy's a DA, though, here in Philadelphia with a mob around him. Force of law. All right, Dennis in Salem County. He's first in on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Dennis.
Hey, Dom. Thanks for getting me in early. My guess is, or suggestion is Occam's razor.
Okay, why that?
Well, it's the philosophy is the simplest answer is often the most accurate, and very historical, goes back to BC times, and I don't think you're going to get more historical. You might get, more pop culture, but it's a big one in my eyes.
I agree with you, and I think he's right, and that's why most conspiracies, and the more convoluted you get, the simplest answer is right in front of you, but that's not sexy enough, I think the guy's saying. Why don't we go with the simple answer?
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right. Yep.
That's a good one, Dennis. Good call. Look, when you call in, give it to us, then flesh it out. Why you chose that one. Why that one pop with you. That's an historic one, without a doubt. Okay, coming up, we're going to talk with Peter Cowan, who is the expert in circadian health and biophysics, an EMF consultant, board certified in something else. We'll let him say that. Creator of Sunlight is Life. And he's the guy postulating that your San Francisco 49ers had all those soft tissue injuries that once were way out of proportion to numbers. You saw Kittle go down in our game, for example. And it's due to the substation there, right next to their facility, abutting it, and what it's emitting. And neither one of the Super Bowl teams are going to use their facilities. Now, they don't always use the facilities of the team in town, but it is kind of interesting that they're not going to do that. And this guy's starting to get traction. I'm going to ask him about all these AI centers. Do we know enough about that are going to be powerful? All that coming up, and your calls. Get in early on Talk Radio 1210.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Real sports talk for real sports fans. What's up, everybody? I'm Nick Costos, and you can catch You Better You Bet with me weekday mornings 9 to noon Eastern on the new Westwood One Sports. From being live from Radio Row for the big game to being joined by the biggest names in sports and entertainment, it's sports talk for people that love sports. Download the Odyssey app and listen from anywhere. It's You Better You Bet with me, Nick Costos, live and interactive Monday through Friday, 9 to noon Eastern, presented by BetMGM on Westwood One Sports.
Start the new year off on a healthier note by taking active liver supplements from New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, NewNordicUSA.com, or your local CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery, or Wegmans.
Let's ring in the new year by finally checking off something that actually matters. Your old videotapes and photos are fading more every year. VCRs are disappearing, and the clock is ticking to save your family's most important memories. Hi, I'm Adam Baselogger.
And I'm Nick Mako. We started Legacy Box to help you preserve your memories by converting all your videotapes, photos, and film reels into digital files. And this year, it's easier than ever.
Introducing our biggest kit yet, able to hold up to 80 videotapes or film reels or 2,000 photos. It's perfect for big collections. You can even send in old DVDs, memory cards, flip phones, or early generation iPhones.
Legacy Box is truly the easiest New Year's resolution you'll ever keep. Just fill your box and send it in. As the world's largest digitizer of home movies and photos, all work is done in the U.S., and we're trusted by over 1 million families.
Start the new year right by rescuing the moments you haven't watched in years. Go to legacybox.com/radio for an incredible 55% off. That's legacybox.com/radio for 55% off.
Broadcasting live from the Piazza Auto Group studios. Experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
All right, you're with Dom here on Talk Radio 1210 and YouTube, youtube.com/1210, WPHT, 1210 WPHT. Do that now. You'll see our guest along with me, Peter Cowan, expert in circadian health and biophysics. He is a board-certified QBP, we'll ask him what that is, and creator of Sunlight is Life. And he's in the news so much because the NFL, nothing bigger, right? And a San Francisco prominent team, the injuries are devastating. I don't know the analytics, particularly the types. You saw Kittle go down here. Could it have something to do with their abutting a substation there in where the training facility is? Let's go to Peter here on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Peter, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me on, Dom.
What is a QBP?
QBP is quantum biology practitioner.
Ah, okay. So you have a lot of the areas that would zone in on this. What piqued your interest? Was it the injuries? Do you have an interest in, well, what is it, first of all, with the substation, Peter, that might be operational that's causing it? What's your theory, first of all?
Yeah, so my theory is pretty simple, is that the electromagnetic radiation from the substation causes oxidative stress, and oxidative stress regulates different genes and stuff, so on, and that will change how collagen is synthesized. And then on top of that, we have issue of dehydration at the cellular level. So we're basically making less water in our cells, and collagen is 99.67% water. So it's a very important structural component to collagen, and that's what makes up the tendons and the soft tissues that we're seeing all these injuries on.
Well, Peter, I would tell you this. You might know this. It's a prominent team. If SEPTA were doing this here, abutting the Eagles training facility, my God, they'd be holding parades bringing you in right now. I'm telling you, or going after you saying, how dare you? It's much more prominent than even the 49ers. So when we first saw this, of course, people are dismissive. Then it seemed like the 49ers were listening a little bit. Where are we at this point?
It's hard to say. I'm still at a place where, nobody's reaching out to me. I think I'm kind of untouchable a little bit. All the mainstream media has written me off as a conspiracy theorist and says that my story's been debunked before actually reaching out to any of the dozens of experts and scientists that I could point them to that support my hypothesis. So we're kind of at a holding pattern, but the 49ers are taking it seriously. A lot of the players are taking it seriously. because they have to, even if they don't believe that it's the actual problem, it's become enough of a media sensation that they have to take it seriously. So I think that's promising.
Yeah, we heard reports, and I can see it, due diligence, the agents and all burning up the phone lines here because these guys only have a shelf. I think, I'm not sure the latest, but in previous years, running backs, when you look at the average, it was only 2 to 3 years, if that, and you're out of the league. So already, but you put something like this in there. We saw, I don't know if you were watching a game when Kittle went down. It didn't seem to be much at all. And he's a ferocious physical specimen competitor. And it looked kind of flimsy that his body would react that way.
Yeah, I mean, that was a real pivotal moment in the story. When it first came out, it was about 50-50, people just being like, I don't know, and some people taking it seriously. But when Kittle went down with that non-contact Achilles snap, which is exactly what I wrote about in my essay series, people started listening.
Peter, what is the impact for the average person? For example, have you thought about other things like we hear with AI and these huge AI facilities? Do you think they admit something that might be negative?
Well, I would say that the AI, the data facilities that you're talking about, that would be more of an indirect phenomenon. It's interesting that you mentioned that because one of the reasons that data center is so massive right next to the training facility is because Silicon Valley Power has been massively expanding their capacity because they're building so many data centers there. So it's not your typical neighborhood substation. It's one of the biggest ones in their system.
What do you think an outcome could be here? I mean, I buy into this. I'm paranoid about it. And I'm not dismissive, and I don't think it's conspiracy. I think it's, if not likely, it's something. And you know what gets me, Peter? The president the other day talking about we used a device in Venezuela. We know about the Havana syndrome. Things like that are as scary to me. You know, you're shot at. You're either dead, wounded, or okay. This stuff, you don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that you brought that up. I have not been following that story too closely, but I can tell you that it's all the same kind of radiation.
Yeah.
So, you go back to this Defense Department studies that were happening in the 70s and they're about using millimeter wave weapons and stuff. It's all public information from back then. So clearly they've been continuing the research and it's just classified. And so then you get into, well, what's a millimeter wave? That's the higher speed waves that we use to connect on our cell phones. And those cell towers are getting put everywhere and just closer and closer to people's houses, microcells in neighborhood streets, kind of camouflaged as trees and stuff. And if you ask me what I think the end result is here, like I'm not paranoid. I don't want to spread fear. I want to really empower people to help themselves so they're not harmed by these things. And I think that the larger story, it's much bigger than the 49ers, is that this kind of lower level electromagnetic radiation is just kind of increasingly surrounding us everywhere we go. And it takes a toll on our health, and we have to be mindful about it and take care of ourselves.
All right, I'm going to say the magic words here. I just had him on last week. Not that I could guarantee anything, but you obviously must have thought when you talked about health, RFK Jr. This seems like down Broadway here, right?
Yeah. Yep. They should get in touch with me. I'd love to talk to RFK Jr.
Well, I do have the contact there. And as soon as we're done talking today, I'm going to text her and say, this is something that I think is not wacky and should be looked at when it comes to matters of health. He's looking at all these chronic / other things that we didn't used to see. And I think this is reasonable to examine it, to take a look at it, to see how it plays in. And I think what you're saying, too, is
RFK.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, I was just going to say that I know that he was part of a group called, I think, the Children's Health Defense.
Yes.
And they sued the FCC or one of those governing bodies saying you need to re-examine the health effects of 5G millimeter wave electromagnetic radiation because the times have changed.
Peter, anything now back to the NFL on the horizon? I don't think the NFL would get involved with you. They, I'm a fan of football, but not the NFL. But the 49ers GM looks like a guy that would consider this. Are you seeing any opening, any chance to present to any team, anybody like that?
Not right now. I think, I'm guessing that the sensation, and like I said, I'm a bit untouchable right now. Like, people can call me a conspiracy theorist and laugh at me and make jokes and stuff, but it allows them to talk about the subject. So I'm happy to be the foil. I really don't care.
Yeah, you come across that way to me. I'm the anti-conspiracy guy usually, but this isn't a conspiracy. It's common sense.
It's not a conspiracy at all.
Right. No, it's Ivana, all the stuff I mentioned. I'm very sensitive to these unseen dangers that are out there potentially where it's reasonable to look at them. And you haven't gone wild. I didn't see you showing up at the facility, grabbing on the fence and screaming at George Kittle or anything. You're doomed. Don't play against the Eagles. You're not doing anything like that.
Nope.
So, Peter, where do we find you so we can continue to follow what you're doing?
So my main business website is sunlightislife.com, but I'm about to release one called 49erssubstation.com, and that's going to have all the information you need just to follow the story and
49erssubstation.com.
49erssubstation.com.
Well, we'd love to have you back when that happens, and we'll keep our eye out. Just let Henry know when there's any development. We'd love talking with you, Peter. Thank you.
Awesome. I had a great time. Thank you, Dom.
Peter Cowan there. The guy hardly seems like the usual conspiracy guy. They're usually a little bit fussy, and you got to go through all kinds of things to get him. Not him. He's just straightforward. Does that seem outlandish? Not to me. There's something there to take a look at. And the president talking about what we used in Venezuela, about the Havana syndrome. They're all sort of related to this kind of stuff. Again, I'm surprised the 49ers have not quietly a little bit more looked into this. I'm sure agents for all these top players, et cetera. Not only that, if you're looking between two teams, I know money's always the factor too. Are you going to say, yeah, I want to go to the team with the substation right there where they're talking about all this stuff? All you need is one more year of this, and you would see a massive exodus of people. They're not going to put that kind of career and that kind of money at risk. All right, hit us on the side question, 855-839-1210. Coming up, I'll play Colbert, why ICE is worse than Nazis. Oh, the thing I teased and didn't mention. So this prominent ESPN guy, and people were speculating, you'll have something next week, he teased. Could it be an Eagles retirement, Lane Johnson, the defensive coordinator, stuff like that? And others are saying, no, the Eagles might be announcing they want a new stadium. All right. Would you be okay? Now, if you're not in Philadelphia, I'm not sure. I'd have to look the last time they built the stadium. I think there's state money there potentially. As I said, I was involved way back again in trying to block some of that, because I don't think the taxpayers ought to pay for it. But if you're the Philadelphia Eagles and you say, we're going to do this, the other part is with the dome and draw all these big events and do all that stuff. Now, I don't know that any of this is actually going to happen, but if it did, don't they have the cachet, even after this most recent thing? Wouldn't people say, yeah, it's the Eagles, of course. Now, this was supposed to be a show place. I don't think it is. I don't think it's bad, their facility now, but it's nothing about it. Citizens Bank Park is different than the usual ballpark. There's a lot of things about that are different. Mm-hmm. The Eagles, I don't see too much. So what kind of case could they make other than saying we're the Philadelphia Eagles? Come on.
Attendance.
We have the most pedigree. Yeah. I saw that. Yeah,
the Eagles finished second to last in the entire NFL in total attendance.
Yeah, they're smaller.
A smaller stadium.
I guess they could try to make that. It really comes down to the cachet of this. Now, way back when the Eagles threatened to leave Philadelphia, that was back with Leonard Toews to Phoenix. The gambling debt and all caught up with them. The Phillies have never done that. So I can't blame this regime and say they threatened to leave and they're, ungrateful. That was Leonard Toews. But the Phillies have been rock solid in this stuff, and they did get the stadium they wanted, and you don't hear them saying anything about it. It's still, I think, a tremendous, particularly after the vet. Their complaint was, we got to play in this vet. Well, for football, it might even be worse. whoever designed it, guys with, I remember when they were coming up with it. Oh my God. 855-839-1210. What would you say if the Eagles say, yeah, we deserve a dome stadium. We're going to draw all these big events for Philadelphia. It's a multiplier. And Henry's right, the attendance. Dallas said the number one attendance. Well, you know, is it 100,000, something like that.
Jerry World. I mean.
Yeah, I went by that. You can see it. They had the highest attendance. The Eagles next to last with all the people that are dying. They can make that case. Well, I can get a ticket then. Right? There's a waiting list of 50,000, 60,000.
It's the easiest route to go.
Yeah. Okay. So would you be okay with, or do you see it as sure, you know, they have the ground, knock yourself out, give them some tax breaks. But the taxpayers footing this mainly, 855-839-1210.
Newsmax, you like Newsmax. I like it too. Newsmax has been terrific.
President Trump is right. Millions like you are tuning into Newsmax. You're watching Newsmax on cable. You're going to our streaming channel, Newsmax 2. And you're downloading our free Newsmax app on your smartphones and TVs. Reuters Institute says we're now one of the top news brands in the nation. Every night, watch great shows with Rob Schmidt, Carl Higbie, Rob Finnerty, and more as they expose the big media lies, the Washington swamp. And they're never afraid to talk about faith, freedom, and the values that made us great. Find out why Newsmax is the fastest-growing news channel in America. Make the switch today and join our news revolution. Get Newsmax on cable, on streaming, and download the free app today. It takes just seconds to start. Let President Trump know you stand with Newsmax. It's for real news, for real people. Make the switch today.
Dawn Stensland here. Oh, the excitement is building. Portugal and Spain this spring. You know, I wouldn't go anywhere across the pond unless Conservative Tours was running the show for you. A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. And after the last 2 adventures in Europe with you, I wouldn't recommend you to anybody else. Fine dining with great wines, seaside villages that take your breath away. They are so stunning to behold. 5738, yes, that includes your nonstop flight from Philadelphia to Lisbon. The picturesque Douro River Valley, 4-star hotel properties, and dining events to rival the best in Europe for 10 days. Portugal is Europe's best-kept secret. I want to take you there before the secret's out. Private Portuguese tour escort, step over the border into Galicia in Old World Spain, fly home from Porto. 888-733-9494, conservativetours.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Buy low, sell high. It's always been the golden rule of investing. But retirement isn't about timing the market. It's about making sure that 100% of your money works 100% for you. And that's why smart retirees are choosing the exclusive crash-proof retirement system to grow and protect their nest eggs.
Paul Wirtz. I started with Crash Proof Retirement in 2024. I've averaged about 12.5% over the last 2 years. The market may be high now, but it will go down at some point. And that's where the peace of mind comes in because my retirement is secured.
Kathleen Ralke, Langhorne, PA. With the Crash Proof Retirement System, we've gotten over 10% this year. The market can still go down, but I don't lose any of that money. We're living proof of it. It works.
Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at the William Penn Inn on February 17th. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Now you can listen to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, it is Dom time, 855-839-1210, AT&T and Verizon Wireless, just push pound 1210. Coming up at 1 o'clock, the underpublicized, hidden big downsides of Larry Krasner unleashed doing what he's doing here in Philadelphia. And it's a real thing, I think, and I'll tell you what that is. It's a local impact of letting this guy engage in this, and no Democrat in the media. Well, why should the media say anything about it? And notice the rhetoric. We've talked about this for about 2 weeks. We had a call. Good guy, Big John in Huntington Valley. And we went after him, I think before Christmas, saying there's going to be a Nuremberg trial. That's what's going to happen to you guys. What are they saying constantly? Nuremberg trials. That's what Larry's talking about, hunting down these people. You hear it all over the place if we win. Can you win on that in the midterms? Well, it could be helpful. You know what I still think the midterms are going to be about? And President Trump's going to have to pivot in these rallies and use that with the people there and the people watching in that region, wherever he goes. Hey, I'm telling you, you are not a patriot if you don't come out and vote. You know, look at all we've given you. Look at Trump dollars yesterday. I mean, just a brilliant program. It's going to teach these American kids about wealth and creating wealth. But why are we missing this? That the key are these reluctant voters. Oh, they're going to come out. Last year was an off-year election. They'll come out for the midterms. I don't see it that way. Maybe it's my antagonism to people who don't vote all the time. I have to admit it. I would be antagonistic. What do you mean you don't vote all the time? Are you kidding me? I only vote for president. I just want to vote for President Trump. He's running again after this. You know, he's the one that has to do that. The Trump dollars thing, though, is just great stuff. Great stuff. All right, let's go to Robert in Ben Salem on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Robert.
Hey, Dom. Henry, how you guys doing today?
Good. Great.
Good. Glad to hear it. I want to keep it short today and save my ranting time for another day. I'm going to go with the Richter scale. Now, this is kind of a twofer, Dom, because it was developed by Charles Richter in conjunction with another scientist named Benno Gutenberg. But Charles Richter, who actually published the paper, and he got credit for it. And I'm thinking that they probably figured that Gutenberg already had a Bible named after him. So they just said, let Richter have this. But that's my answer for today. And I'm seeing so many online, Dom. So this is going to be a great show, and I'm looking forward to listening to it. You guys have a wonderful day, all right?
Thank you very much, Robert. Yeah, Henry, I'm watching Twitter. If you see any on the chat, the youtube.com/1210, anything jump out at you that you like? Yeah, when you bring
Let's
it
see
up.
here,
Yeah,
let's see
yeah.
here. The Heimlich maneuver. I see that.
Yes.
Love
Now,
Jeffy.
that is a great one to have it named after you. Just think of what that's done in life, and that's a practical one. It's not like you have to go to a medical facility and say, "Well, this guy, this Sean guy, came up with this." What I like is the contention. We always have this contention. You guys are probably, since Henry is a niche guy, not a niche. You're probably a Tesla guy, not an Edison guy. I don't understand that. I'm an Edison guy. I still am. Edison didn't steal anything.
He's a copycat.
Oh, Edison, the copycat.
That's true.
The genius of Menlo Park. Come on.
The genius, like Sean said, is the genius of patenting the things first.
Well, okay, but so Tesla why was he too lazy to patent it?
It's a new system.
I mean, Dad was also a weird freak who practiced eugenics on himself.
That too. He's too busy doing that to file a patent.
Oh, okay. That might have been it. All right, 855-839-1210. Sauce Gravy, Nietzsche, and Edison Tesla. Mary, let's see. You're probably a Dawn Wells guy and not Tina Louise then, right? Gilligan's Island.
Yeah. I still never seen.
Okay, all right. Well, you had to have seen the two of them. That's one of the all-time.
Which one's the, I don't know, not the hot one, the other one.
Oh, Dawn Wells is the girl next door.
The girl next door,
All right, you want the girl next door. Usually I would go with that, but Tina Louise, come on. Yeah, it fits the whole stereotype. All right, coming up, Sidney Sweeney back in the news again. And Democrats going wild about this and not understanding it. But what is the danger other than being insufferable, of Larry Krasner hunting down, just foaming at the mouth now, making national news, going after ICE. Maybe when I'd say it to you, you go, oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. It's local. Big danger with this. And I think it's real. And I hope they talk about it. Hey, Saturday in America, Scott Presler again. He's becoming a regular on that show. Must be the hair. 855-839-1210.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $40 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $18 a month, a savings of nearly $300 a year.
Whether you need a $100,000 policy or a $10 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. In a hurry? Don't worry. With SelectQuote, you can get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-637-9116. That's 1-800-637-9116. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-637-9116.
Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
For 100 years, Edelman's in Jenkintown has been the name families trust when it's time to sell gold, silver, and coins. A fourth-generation family-owned business built on fairness, honesty, and treating every customer with true respect. At Edelman's, you'll always get a clear, no-pressure offer. Their best offer first. Sell your gold jewelry, bullion, or coins with confidence at Edelman's. Visit edelmanscoins.com or call 215-572-6480. Edelman's, where fairness has been our family tradition for 100 years.
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
So many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. And each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli here with my friend Matt from Emmons Roofing and Siding. When it comes to protecting your home, you need a roofer that you can trust to do the job right.
That's why at Emmons, we're not just another contractor. We're your neighbors who've built our reputation on honesty, craftsmanship, and superior customer service.
Well, take it from me. Whether it's a roof repair or a full replacement, siding, windows, or doors, Emmons delivers long-lasting protection and peace of mind.
The most expensive project is the one you do twice, so call us today at 856-556-3229 or visit callemmons.com.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait. And don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Do you know your numbers? What numbers? Your heart health numbers, your blood pressure, your cholesterol, your blood sugar, and your body mass index. They're important, so ask your doctor. Learn your numbers, and if something doesn't seem right with them, see a Deborah specialist at one of our offices throughout South Jersey. After all, when it's your heart, you don't take chances. Find a specialist near you at demanddeborah.org.
All right, it is Dom time. Welcome in 855-839-1210. Great side question today. Coming off this Anton Chekhov's gun, the name directly attached to something that we all know or have heard at least. 855-839-1210. Thanks to Alan, not a guy. Dear Dom, Henry, and Dan, miss talking to you guys, but still love to tune into your show. Keep up the great work. Just had to share this from our local Italian restaurant, Cafe Antonio's in Morrisville. Great spot if you ever find your way here. And it says, leave a tip or we put pineapple on your pizza. There you go. The ultimate enforcement. Nice. All right. I mentioned a moment ago, tease this up, that there's a deep, deep thing that every time Larry Krasner gets involved like this on a daily basis, not just on this, I mean, is there anybody more insufferable? He really is amazing at this. I mean, you know me. I take these things as a hobby, particularly him. The hidden thing is it's hard enough to recruit cops in Philadelphia. We're not paying anywhere near enough versus some of these other places. But just think about it. You're a cop out there in Philadelphia. Are you really going to ever insert yourself in something that might be proactive, something that could go wrong, you're trying to protect? Are you going to hang back or not become a cop at all? And the reason is this guy hates you. He is a cop hater. And the real, I don't know that I could say that about all of Krasner's supporters. But the real intense and even somewhat not that intense crap, they're cop haters. They hate cops. He hates cops. It's not debatable. It's an obvious thing. And we've had fun over the years going after Krasner land and everything else with him, but he is such a detriment. And he gets away with it because he won't call on you if the people that cover him at these cockamamie North Korean press conferences dare to raise an objection to anything. It just won't. You might be arrested. What kind of guy sits in a chair sipping coffee when somebody else is at the podium and you have people made to stand up on these placards and one woman standing there, a 65-year-old woman with a walker? Who does that? People that are insufferable. So he really is a drag on recruiting cops. You know, and all this stuff. Well, you know, what do you have to worry about if you're a cop if you're not doing something wrong? Just think of these morons. Why do we even protect half of these people with cops? Put their lives on the line for what? To be micromanaged in Zapruder filmed? And I'm not talking about the ICE shooting. That should be investigated. I'm talking about the everyday type of stuff. Remember the one cop, his partner yells gun. The guy refuses to comply. He has something in the car. Might be a knife, might be a gun. He shoots him in Kensington. He charges him, tried to charge him with first-degree murder. First-degree murder. You'll go through the ringer for years with this guy. His taxes. When's the last time he's paid them on several buildings there? They're often in the news, and people say, oh, it's Larry. So he is a real detriment to recruiting police. They all know it in their heart of hearts. Police need you when it's a gray area. Look, if they do something clearly wrong, okay. Not even gray areas. He hates you. His staff reeks of cop haters. That's what they're about. And what kind of coward, what kind of man has the family of the sergeant, remember, that was killed over at Temple by a maniac playing video games in his head, shoots him and then stands over him and assassinates him? And they wanted the death penalty, and rightfully so. Krasner didn't have the guts to meet with them and tell them no. He had somebody I know call in the phone and tell them that. You've heard the family on here. It's just an unbelievably outstanding family. And they're still pursuing. Who does that? But Larry Krasner, I often say this. Look, Larry Krasner is just acting out what Larry Krasner is. Same thing with progressives. You know, part of me blames them, but part of me blames the people we elect to restrain them, to stop this, to push back on it. And it's tough in Philadelphia. There's ignorance galore. They're a mob. They're not going to vote for a Republican. If a Republican was running against the devil would get 3 times the vote he usually gets. Then they go to church and talk about the devil. It's ridiculous. And that's one of the things that goes on here because of Krasner. Now, John Andrasik was one of our guests. He actually did a mini concert for us when he wrote the song about Afghanistan. He did it from his hotel room. I think one other band member there. We put it up on Facebook. It was really good. He's up on Twitter breaking down a Wall Street Journal article about our buddy, the boss of fraud, Bruce Springsteen. Springsteen now out with the streets of Minneapolis. Yeah. How many people have written songs, The Streets of Blank? You just sit up there and say, blank. And he writes on Twitter, in a different world, the ICE and Border Patrol agents involved in the shootings might make sympathetic subjects for a Springsteen song. They're working class guys, probably, military veterans in some cases. They may have gone to college, though probably not Yale. And the Wall Street Journal guy, Hennessy, makes a good point about Springsteen. A subtle point, but a correct one. He says that his songs are filled with emotional complexity, usually. But not when it comes, in the end, to stuff like this. It's just black and white. His ideology, in other words, takes over. I'd say yes. And as far as complexity, I think he's fraudulent. That's my biggest complaint. I mean, I like the all-out, what he gives in a concert. I only saw him once. I only could see 45 minutes. I couldn't take it anymore. His 21-gun salute. I wasn't paying. It was over at was it Coors State Center? It might have still been Wells Fargo for John Kerry. Yeah. And it was 21 days to push him over the finish line. And it was an electric performance, physically, the whole thing. Yeah, I get that. But the new song, of course, Minneapolis, he talks about federal thugs, Noam's Dirty Lies. The new song is dubbed Streets of Minneapolis. Starts off with him strumming on his acoustic guitar and a few hits on the snare drum.
You're hearing it right now underneath you.
Yeah, I wouldn't play too much, Henry, if you remember. That's why I didn't ask for it.
Okay.
Thank you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Remember? Yeah. I'm glad you did it. But
well, it's more his performances with his...
Okay.
Yeah.
That's allowed. Okay. The tune picks up the speed where Springsteen says, "Oh, our Minneapolis, I hear your voice singing." Wait a minute. Didn't Carl Sandburg write that? Chicago's singing, somebody poets. I see a little bit of research. It's a common refrain. And in there, here in our country, they killed and roamed. In the winter of 26, we'll remember the names of those who died on the streets of Minneapolis. So he strikes again. And this Matthew Hennessy guy who wrote in the Wall Street, and John Andrasik, they are not just people lining up, the obligatory, we hate this guy. But they are deconstructing what he does that really gets our ire. It's political now. And it has been for some time. And the working class stuff, as soon as you do the dynamic pricing and all, I just don't think you can do it. And aren't these guys working class guys? Where's the emotional complexity with this? I think is what the Hennessy guys say. I think that's right. In other words, how about a song about this? You have a gift, poetic gift, call it what you will. Certain songs I don't think are overrated. Couldn't you use that, even if you wanted to attack Trump and Noam? The people on the street particularly with Good, couldn't you talk about these guys, working class guys? How do they arrive here? You don't like the policy? How about them, though? That's a fair complaint. But he's not about that anymore. He is just not about any kind of complexity on this stuff for the men that were involved. And let's take the Good shooting, or just ICE in general. They're monsters. They're thugs. They are not working class guys. That's the point Andrasik is making. Henry, you know what? It'd be good to get him on. He remembers us, I think. I think we have his stuff. I think he'd come on in a heartbeat. We had him on during the Afghanistan song that he wrote. And then I think he wrote one about October 7th after that. But he makes a great point on Twitter. And these are not people just mocking Springsteen and trying to diminish his talent. I don't think I've ever done that. I've been pretty clear. I see the talent. I'm telling you what went adrift with this. And I can't even listen to the Atlantic City thing. I prefer the band on that anyhow. And
me too.
Yeah, the whole rhythm of it is better. As much as I love that kind of performer, I get it. But isn't this a little bit more complex than their monsters, thugs, and all that? Aren't these the type of, nope, they didn't grow up in the towns like Springsteen did. They're not Jersey guys, you know? Somebody on the other side. Obama's a Jersey guy? I don't know about that. You're not a Jersey guy anymore either, would be my charge. You know, and we all want to be better. But I don't know if I'd accuse Springsteen of forgetting his roots. I don't think he's intentionally doing that. It's just whatever twist in the road there takes him there. He is just, they're right, the Wall Street, he's lacking any kind of complexity. It's black and white here. And he's on one side, and the other side's completely bad. And if you're on that side, you're not coming from a working class background. He takes that away from you. You were all just thugs and monsters and elitists and where you came from. You want to go after Trump, you want to go after Noam, okay. What about these individuals, though? When's there going to be a Lake and Riley song? Even if you don't want to go wild at the people who murdered and raped her. But where are the songs for a Lake and Riley? Because you know my refrain on this whole thing. We have enough criminals of our own. If those guys were not allowed to run wild, Morin's the other one, these women would be among us. They wouldn't be dead. But no, they were allowed to run wild. Let's go to David in Honeybrook. By the way, Honeybrook got my attention. There are only 2 law enforcement organizations, I did massive research on this in Philadelphia, that work with ICE. Honeybrook is one.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And the other, I'm shocked because it's more of a liberal citadel. I'll give you that one in a moment here. Let's go to David in Honeybrook. David, you're in a good spot. You're where they actually work with ICE a bit.
Yes, and I'm very happy where I live. God bless me. But I heard you talk about with this fool Bruce Springsteen. I cannot stand him. He's as two-faced as you could ever hope to see somebody. But my question is, with the money that he is looking to gain out of this new recording, how much of it is he going to give to all these supposedly poor, picked-on people that he's making this money off of?
I haven't seen that breakdown yet, but you're right. That's a good question. It's one of my top questions. And look, I've said this many times. I don't know what the over and under is. In my mind, I think I could set it for you if I had to. I think of the Kennedys at times with this, but Springsteen too. I don't think you get to lecture, make more money off inequality, tank towns. The oligarchs are running it when you're a billionaire. It's fine to be a billionaire. I'd be happy to be a billionaire. I'd spend it all and then I'd put it up more, Henry, so that I could run for president. Bro, get me another billion out there. If you run, spend anything you can, borrow anything you can, you got to win. Otherwise, it's not worth it. Maybe a string of radio, TV stations around the world. And you can do the covers. Here's Dom Giordano today and finish.
Oh, God.
But if you're a billionaire living that type of life, I think you lose some of that's my charge, the credibility. It's just like the Kennedys lecturing and Democrat Nancy Pelosi about inequality, and they're worth $250 million and up. Well, why not live a little bit simpler? How about 5 to 10 million? And maybe you can still talk about that. Where's the line where it's fraudulent? I think they cross it routinely. It might be better to not be doing all the lecturing about income inequality and all that. That's why I liked the Trump dollars yesterday. Not only do these kids get the money, but maybe it starts a conversation in their family about creating wealth. How do people get wealthy? How do you do that? And I heard people down the hall yesterday, Henry, on IP, talking about they hope to live long enough to have their house paid off. And I'm thinking, wow, I wouldn't buy a house that expensive then. You know, there's nothing like feeling your mortgage is paid off. I think that's a better feeling than a lavish house that you may never be in that you actually have paid it off. I don't know. Would you rather have a giant house or a nice house? The nice house paid off, the lavish one you're living in, but you may die before you pay it off.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Oh, you like that?
It's not my problem. I'm dead.
But you don't have ownership of the house.
Okay. I'm living in it.
Okay, all right. I need to own it. I need to own that house.
I hear you.
Yeah. I was surprised because these two guys make a lot of money, and I can't imagine how much the house is then. You know, it was the afternoon show. Yeah, I was like, what the heck? They were going to celebrate when one guy had it paid off in 5 years.
Dang.
Yeah. Wow. Is it $1 million?
Yeah,
it must be. Yeah. All right. We're going to talk to Jeff Andrew in 13 minutes or so, but we'll take your calls, 855-839-1210. You get on board. Tom Homan, got to get that guy back on. What a performance today. Behind the scenes, what he did, I think so far, he's got a compromise going here. We're going to pick these people up and get out of Dodge. And I like what he said. You know, why did Bovino and why did Kristi Noem not give the order? Don't engage with these people in public. In fact, stay away from them. Take a third of the sources there, put them to cordon off these mobs, do your mission, your targeted mission, and get out of there. Well, why can't they walk around the streets? Well, you tell that to Tom Homan. He'll tell you better because he's operational. Because you don't want trouble. You want to get these people off the streets and get out of there. Otherwise, horrific things can happen. And we're not there to do that. We're there to get the bad guys. And/or Homan said, hey, we're mainly targeting the bad guys, but if you're in the country illegally, that's on the table too. That's exactly right. That's the way that I see it. He put it exactly right. Hey, attention, Pennsylvania, New Jersey home sellers. If you're over 60 and even thinking about selling in 2026, don't start too late. Sellers are losing thousands before that sign ever goes up. They fix the wrong things, they guess on price, and they get blindsided at inspections. Learn the 10 new rules of selling over 60 at Diane Giordano's free breakfast seminar, 9 a.m. this Saturday, January 31st, at the Hilton Garden Inn, Fort Washington. Join me and Diane either live or on Zoom. We'll answer questions like, should you downsize now or stay put? What are your capital gains? How do you declutter 30 years of your stuff? What do you do to fix or not fix? Should you sell as is? Or how to price and market your home to sell fast? All attendees get a free copy of Diane's newest book, The Hidden Cost of Overpricing. Join us on January 31st. Get all that info by RSVPing 215-576-8666 or online, 215-576-8666.com. Remember, it's free. It's a great breakfast. We'll have a chance to talk. 215-576-8666.
Autoimmune disease. Difficult to treat and even more difficult to diagnose. If you've had Lyme disease, post-Lyme, or any type of autoimmune disease, you probably know how difficult it is. That's why you should contact Dr. Molly Fantasia and the team at Innovative Medical Associates. Through their unique hydration protocols, Dr. Molly and her staff have helped hundreds navigate the difficult journey of autoimmune, Lyme disease, or post-Lyme. To set up the initial consultation, which is complimentary, call 856-489-0505. That's 856-489-0505. Or visit their website, innovativemedicalassociates.com, for additional information. Do what many others have done who have either been misdiagnosed or just led down a path to nowhere. Contact Innovative Medical Associates. That number again, 856-489-0505.
Announcing that gold is now over $5,000 an ounce. If you've got gold or silver just laying around, the States Roadshow wants it. They are paying top dollar this Monday through Friday at TMT Cash for Gold in Cherry Hill. For more info, go to tmtcashforgold.com.
Philadelphia homeowners, protect your investment with custom storage from Closet Factory. From design through installation, everything is handled in-house, ensuring consistent quality from start to finish. Call 215-461-4013 for your free design consultation. Closet Factory, smart storage done right.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55, but unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
The new era of UFC on Paramount Plus continues. Live from Australia. Featherweight champ Alexander Volkanovski.
He is an animal.
Defends his belt at home in an explosive rematch against Diego Lopez.
You gotta be kidding me!
And the always dangerous Dan Hooker.
Yes.
Throws down with powerhouse Benoit Saint-Denis in a high-action lightweight showdown.
Oh! There's never been anything like this. Let's go.
UFC 325, Saturday, January 31st, only on Paramount Plus.
Hey, this is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. I've been talking about myself for all these years. Now it's time for you to hear from one of our great clients.
Investor Schooling lives up to the promises. Larry's a great teacher, teaches about the whole new approach to thinking about money. I've taken to heart many of the things that he's taught me, and my financial life has improved.
Come to Investor Schooling, and you could be just like Charlie and change your financial life. Go to investorschooling.com. We will see you Thursday.
Hey, Dawn Stensland here. Kick off your new year on a high note with a new certified or pre-owned vehicle from my friends at the Piazza Auto Group. Did you know Piazza carries more than 3,500 new vehicles and 1,600 pre-owned vehicles at any given time, like Honda, Acura, Mazda, Hyundai, and Volkswagen, plus pretty much any other brand that you can think of. Now that's selection. Visit PiazzaAutogroup.com, search Piazza's new and pre-owned inventory, or to find a dealer nearest you. Make sure you tell them Dawn sent you.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-323-8922. 800-323-8922. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-323-8922.
Calling on East Greenville to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it today.
All right, it is Dom time. Henry and, listen, yeah. It's not Springsteen, right?
Of course not.
The build up to this. I knew that guy. At least his son at Newman. Yeah, it was in a class there.
Huh. Small world.
When you blow up the whole porch, you're not fooling around with the chicken man.
No.
All right, the Springsteen version. And those killers of ice will not be there. We won't allow them in Atlantic City. Nicely played, Henry. Henry and DJ both, great minds think, alerting me, DJ on text, that ESPN is going to do a 30 for 30, one of their prime series on the Philly. Are they going to call it the Philly Special or Philly Philly? Nick Foles.
Good question.
Nuts. Let's run Philly Philly. You know,
Philly?
We had it all set, and he blew it. We were going to demonstrate, Henry, Philly Philly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, after we got done with doing the thing, there was nobody else on stage. I was going to take the role of throwing the ball, obviously.
Maybe Trey Burton.
Trey Burton. He was going to take the role of catching it again. But instead, the fans were so crazy, so in love with it. It was nuts. I mean, we talked mainly God, his family, and all that. That he started moving toward the stage too early, and they started climbing up the stage.
Yeah.
It was like 1,400 people there. It was getting crazy. I was actually told to get out of there just so there'd be no representative at one point. I didn't think that was a good idea, and DJ and Luke wanted to take their picture with him. I had to accomplish that. It was quite a night.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, but I couldn't be more impressed behind the scenes how kindly he was to producers and others, signing 1,500 books. Wow. Was stunning. You know, it took a while, but all the while asking me about, isn't there a basketball hoop around here? Oh, my God. Can you imagine? Blew my chance. If he didn't have to sign the books, it would have happened.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And
but with the books, yeah. I mean, he had been up since 4 a.m. He had done 5 talk shows that day.
Jeez.
He comes in. We have police, opening it up. It was as spectacular. When you have banks paying like $45,000 to have 10 minutes with them, with their employees.
Yeah.
It's pretty big stuff. That's the
crazy.
biggest I've ever been involved in. Bigger than Don Jr., as big as that was. I mean, just O'Reilly, the first time, sold out the Broadway, which is 1,200 in a matter of hours. Yeah, when he was on Fox still then. So it was, yeah.
But those guys don't have a statue.
Yeah. And they're not 243 pounds and looking thin.
Right.
That still shocks me. It's frightening what the NFL must be like. All right, let me squeeze a person in here because Jeff Andrews usually a tad late. David in Lexington, Talk Radio 1210. Hey, David.
Hey, Dom. I wonder if Bruce is singing that song in Somali.
Yeah.
Would that be more fitting?
Yeah.
Well, earlier you were talking about Stephen Colbert. Well, Dom,
yes.
when he was attending Porter-Gaud High School down in Charleston, it was Stephen Colbert. So I don't know where this Bear part came in. It's kind of like Appalachia maybe. I don't know. But speaking of that part of the state, just above there is North Charlie. We all know about North Charlie.
You made it famous. One of our favorite. It's one of our. I have to do the top 10 mythical ports of the Dom Giordano show, and North Charlie is one. Yes.
Well, in North Charlie, there's a road called Montague Avenue.
Right.
The reason that's relevant is there was a man named John Montague back in England, back in the old country, a long time ago. And this guy loved to play cards till the middle of the night, and he would have snacks while he's playing. And, he came home, and his wife's like, hon, look, I like that you like to play cards with the buddies and everything, but you come home and your fingers are all messy because you're grabbing all that meat. So he decided to come up with the idea of taking that meat and put it between 2 pieces of bread to keep his hands clean. And, well, they didn't want to call it the Montague. Well, since he was the fourth Earl of Sandwich, they said, we'll call it the sandwich.
That is an all-timer. Yes, the sandwich is very much so. But I don't know that it has the same oomph, Henry, what we talked about in the beginning, like Chekhov's gun. In other words, it doesn't say
it's not possessive, whereas Earl of Sandwich is more of a title.
A title, right. But you don't say, I'll have an Earl of Sandwich. Leslie, and Arnold Palmer. Mm-hmm. And I don't even know if he invented it. They just called it that. I'm not sure that Arnold Palmer, he said, put some tea in there and some lemonade. It's an Arnold Palmer.
Well, I think it's just what he drank so much. It's like that's what people knew. It's like,
yeah, exactly.
He's going to come in and ask for his specific mix.
That's possessive enough. I'd have to count that as possessing. Okay. Jeff Van Drew, the Senate has just voted not to keep the government open tomorrow night at midnight, 55-45. In other words, if it's not changed, we will be in shutdown again tomorrow night. Almost 95%. It's about, ICE. And some Republicans voted to shut the government down, too. They may have other reasons. But at this point, the government stands shut down tomorrow night at midnight. Jeff Van Drew, the House voted to keep it open. We'll get him from Washington to break down exactly what's going on with this next. 855-839-1210.
You know, this is one of those topics that no one really wants to think about, but if you're a parent, a homeowner, married, or helping take care of aging parents, it's something that honestly deserves a little attention. I'm talking about estate planning. And before you tune out thinking it's complicated or expensive, that's actually why I want to mention Trust and Will. Trust and Will makes estate planning feel way less intimidating than it sounds. They offer modern, attorney-designed wills and trusts that you can create online. And the process is surprisingly straightforward. In fact, you can create a will in as little as 30 minutes. That includes things like guardianship for your kids or pets, how your assets are distributed, and even healthcare directives. Don't wait until it's too late. Protect your loved ones with Trust and Will, the most trusted name in online estate planning. Go to trustandwill.com/plan to get 20% off. That's trustandwill.com/plan for 20% off. trustandwill.com/PLAN.
At PGW, safety is essential to delivering clean, reliable natural gas to Philadelphia homes and businesses. If you smell gas, call PGW at 215-235-1212.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Your day doesn't wait. Between the school run, the office, and the grocery list, you need to know what's happening in Philly now, not an hour from now.
At KYW News Radio, we're obsessed with your quality of life. That means real-time traffic for your commute, weather that actually helps you plan your weekend, and fearless reporting on the local leaders making decisions that affect your wallet.
Stay connected. Stay informed. Tell your smart speaker to play KYW News Radio.
Prioritize yourself and make your dream of an attractive, healthy smile a reality at PI Dental Center. The professionals at PI Dental have been transforming patients' smiles for over 38 years. Board-certified specialists, Dr. Glenn Wolfinger and Dr. Robert Slough, perform complex dental makeovers with their Teeth in a Day protocol, where dental implants are placed and restored with fixed teeth in just one day. It's time to invest in yourself. For a smile that's monumental, trust PI Dental. Visit PIDentalCenter.com.
Broadcasting live from the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
All right, Dom time, one of our all-time favorites, Congressman Jeff Van Drew. The countdown is on, 55-45. They voted in the Senate not to keep the government open tomorrow night at midnight. Now, things could change in the House. They have been solid about this, and it revolves around ICE and probably some other things. So let's go to the congressman, see what he can tell us here on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Congressman, welcome back. Thanks for joining us.
Always good to be with you, Dom. Are you staying warm?
Yeah. Well, we're digging out here. You know, Philadelphia has a problem, unlike Mikey Sherrill at getting rid of the snow. She has a problem, too. But, Congressman.
It's brutal in Philly. I have friends who live there, and when there's a good-sized storm, they're just locked in for days.
Yeah, absolutely. What can you tell us now? The vote in the Senate, you guys would be called back, I guess, potentially on this, 55-45, and they voted not to keep the government open. What's going on?
Well, I get, good news and bad news like so many other things. The good news, if there is any, is that this won't be a shutdown of the magnitude or length of duration as the last shutdown, 43 days. We've passed a half a dozen of these bills, and there's certainly broad agreement, as much as there can be with the Democrats right now, on most of them. As you know, it's the ICE issue. The president is going to weigh in, and the administration is weighing in, trying to help out on this to see if there's some compromise here. Look, I don't doubt that there may be a few ways that we can do better. There may be more that we can do with some training, with crowd control. But, and we can talk about the whole ICE issue as long as you want to, because there's a lot more to it than is commonly being spoken about in the legacy media. Bottom line, president's weighing in, trying to help out. Hopefully he can. Hopefully the Senate will get their act together. Hopefully the Democrats don't want to just create chaos again, and it hurts a lot of good people. And I'm hoping they kind of learned their lesson last time. Yeah, last time the Republicans got blamed, but so did the Democrats, and they don't want that again as well. So stay tuned.
Well, you talk to President Trump fairly routinely for almost anybody we can get on, Congressman, and this had the Trump touch on it. Tom Homan today, I watched it in real time, was spectacular. He didn't give in. He didn't say they're not going to do their mission, but he had struck an agreement, apparently. They're going to transfer people that are up for deportation to ICE in the jails there. And he talked about drawing down, and he also talked about what we've been talking about that was deficient among ICE when you talked about training, et cetera. And that was they have 3,000 ICE agents there. They didn't form a corridor around the ones who were doing an action to keep the mob away from them. And also, there's no reason to congregate in the streets with these people. Stay away from them. Do the mission. We won't have any more of the nonsense we've seen.
Yeah, and by the way, their job is to collect these individuals, predominantly criminals. And by the way, just for everybody listening, there are thousands of them. We have detained and deported thousands of really bad people, murderers, child abusers, rapists, violent felony crimes that they're guilty of. I mean, again, the media doesn't talk about that, but that's the reality. So a lot of good work has been done. These aren't peaceful protests. This is what a peaceful protest is, what our Constitution guarantees and should never be touched. You should be always able to peacefully protest. Is that you're out there, you express your viewpoint, you could chant if you want, you can hold placards, cards, etc. But it does not mean that you spit in the face of law enforcement, literally. It does not mean that you're blowing deafening sounds, whistles in their ears. It doesn't mean you're pushing them, that you're shoving them, that you're kicking them, that you're kicking and destroying their vehicles and property. All of which went on, and by the way, all of which went on with the unfortunate individual that got in the mix here, this ICU nurse that we talk about. And he's got quite a history. I mean, he's not just some peaceful protester that was expressing his viewpoint. He was, borderline violent at times, and this is all stuff that's now coming out, as you've seen, and that's been documented. And I still say, as somebody who carries himself, I carry in 40 states, somebody who believes in Second Amendment rights very strongly. I'm not saying it wasn't his right. He had a permit to carry the gun, but he's carrying a gun and 2 extra extended magazines. So why you're going to a peaceful protest, even if you carry, like I do, okay, you carry your gun and it's loaded. But why are you carrying 2 more magazines? Are you expecting an armed confrontation? Are you going into a war zone? If you are, is it productive for you to do and bring, more ammo into the situation? I don't know. I mean, the whole thing needs to be evaluated. That's what I've asked for. I think that's what's normal when there's a loss of life, which is so horrible and unfortunate. You need to have a thorough, robust, complete, objective investigation. And I think Tom Homan supports that. So glad to see him on the job. So glad to see a professional on the job.
It was brilliant today. And within a day, he seems to have gotten a compromise where the state police and others are now getting involved. I mean, it was almost magical. Congressman, your subcommittee in the middle of all this, what have you been doing and what's next?
Well, 2 things. What we just have done, we just had a hearing which was a great hearing, and I wish we'd even talked about it more nationally. There was so much going on with all of this, with the weather, with ice, with everything else. It wasn't even talked about enough, but we certainly did really get some productive results out of it. Basically, and I'm just going to boil it down, so much of our traffic control mechanisms, in other words, our smart signs that tell you where to go and what to do in times of emergencies, our electronic signs, everything that has to do with Easy Pass, toll taking, DOT stuff in general, transportation, guess what, is controlled by China. And I'm going to bring this up over and over again because it makes me angry, and it's just one good example, but there are many other examples. In the state of New Jersey, the Turnpike Authority, when it was going out to renew its Easy Pass system, got two bids. They went out to bid, got two bids in. One was from an American company and was the lower bid. One was a more expensive company, was the higher bid, was a Singapore, now a company out of Singapore that had ties to the Chinese communists. We have some of our most delicate and sensitive information, and it is accessible by the Chinese Communist Party. That's the bottom line. And people may not want to admit about it, but talk about it. And we had experts there that were talking about it. They're recommending various pieces of legislation that we're going to do and going to look at. That is completely unacceptable. That's scary. It's wrong, and it doesn't make for a strong America. So that we had a very thorough, full hearing on that. It was very informative and very good. And here's one of the more unusual things. We talked about two things. One, we actually got bipartisanship, which is this issue with the Chinese issue, basically controlling our infrastructure. I hate to say it, but they are. And the Democrats agreed. I know you're going to fall down, but they agreed, and they have concerns as well. So we may actually get some bipartisan, results here. The area where they didn't agree so much is the other thing that we talked about in the transportation corridor, was the fact that we have certain states that are issuing CDLs, commercial driver's licenses. CDLs are hard to get. You've got to be a really good driver. You've got to be trained. You should be. You're hauling around, tons of merchandise in 18-wheelers. And they're in these states like California, for example, and some others of the blue states, they let you do it online, and you don't have to pass the test. So they have examples where somebody's literally failed the test over and over, but they just grant them the license anyhow for filling out the form online. And they don't speak, read, or write English, and so they don't understand the road signs. So kids have been killed, families have been hurt and killed in terrible accidents that occurred because they didn't know what they were getting into. They're not capable of driving the vehicle, and they can't read the traffic signs. That can't be. You have to be able to read, write, and speak English in order to operate an 18-wheeler. And somebody, in fact, Jasmine Crockett, who's my ranking member, brought up, well, when I go to Europe, I'm driving around and, they don't test me that I have to speak or read or write the language of the country I'm in. And as I kind of reminded her, Jasmine, you're not driving an 18-wheeler.
Picture this, Jasmine Crockett coming down the highway. I got to watch the subcommittee more. I'm glad you mentioned that she's the ranking member. Oh, my goodness. Oh.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have some interesting times.
Absolutely.
So what we're going to get into now, I'm also sick of the Democrats saying that, what happened in Venezuela is wrong and we shouldn't have stopped. They're more worried about the criminals, drug lords, drug czars that are on these boats selling this poison and killing our kids than they are about the American victims. And we are going to talk about what happened in Venezuela, why it is constitutional, why we're protecting our families, and we've slowed down the influx of drugs into this country. Do you realize how much we've slowed down the numbers of criminals coming into our country with now having closed borders and what we're doing with drugs? I mean, the deaths from drugs are down like 50%. Some will say, well, we have good treatment, and I'm sure we do have some good treatment. Bottom line is we've had good treatment and good social workers for years, and the numbers were going up. Stop it at its origin. Stop the flow of drugs into the United States of America. These bastards are killing our children. They're killing our country, and we're doing the right thing. And it is constitutional. We're going to get into that in our next hearing. We were going to have it at the very beginning of February with all the snow and everything going on. It was hard to get all the witnesses assembled. So we'll have it in February, but we don't have an exact date yet. We will soon, and we'll get that to you.
All right. We'll be on that, Congressman. Thank you. Thanks so much, as always.
Always good to be with you, Dom. Stay warm, stay safe.
All right, Congressman Jeff Andrew, that subcommittee. Can you picture with Jasmine Crockett as the ranking member? 18-wheeler talk with Jasmine. Oh, my
I'd pay to see her.
Oh, yeah. Well, when she was on the same committee as Marjorie Taylor Greene, oh, my goodness. And they sat pretty close to each other. Oh, God.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
You're a director. You want a script. Can't we move them right next to each other? Okay, we got a great side question today. Now, remember, we're looking that you really connect the possession. I see one up there that, that we got to know who possesses this. All this starting with Anton Chekhov's gun. All right, coming from the playwright, and something I never heard in literature. Come on, LaSalle, I'm going to ask for my money back. I don't remember. Maybe one Chekhov. Is it The Cherry Orchard? Is that his best work? It's the one I know. Trying to remember what else Chekhov did. It's a great name, though, Chekhov. Star Trek. All right.
Cherry Orchard is one of his works,
yeah.
How do you know what he wrote, but not the term?
I never heard it.
Oh, man.
And I've taught terms like that, various things, but I've never heard the Chekhov term. They must have.
Sean's just as flabbergasted back here as me.
Yeah,
because I've never heard of any of his works.
He's in the same mind as me.
Okay, well, I still say a lot of listeners don't know about the gun or the works, or is he Russian or Chekhov? Can that guy be an OC? No, that's Billy Bob Cooter.
Sounds like.
By the way, Cooter looks like he's in the lead. I really want that guy to be here. We got to get him on as a guest.
If he is, but I want Sean Mannion.
Oh, yeah, well, that guy will be in trouble. If they blow up, he's only 33. Oh, my God, these fans. He'll take the Petullo out of town, I think, if there's trouble. Seems to be the guy that everybody wants, though. All right, 855-839-1210. That's how you get in. Hit us on that. You heard Jeff Andrew. Coming up, I've been teasing. I haven't played Colbert yet. Why are ICE even worse than Nazis, according to Colbert or Colbert, as David in Lexington said? You get in at 855-839-1210.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
I dared Archwell Health to keep track of my vitals and my grandkids' names.
I dared Archwell Health to simplify my prescriptions, so Max and I have more time to play. Good boy.
And I dared Archwell Health to be closer than my neighborhood coffee shop.
Our members dared us to do more as a primary care provider for adults age 60 and up. So we made it our mission. Visit archwellhealth.com and become a member today. Archwell Health. We dare to care.
When the market reaches all-time highs, investors who try to sell high are met with the same excuses from their broker. You're in it for the long haul. Stay the course. Don't sell now, you'll miss out on opportunity. But crash-proof consumers have not missed out on the recent market highs.
Mike McEachran, I'm from Gilbertsville, Pennsylvania. Wall Street is volatile. You never know where the stock market's going to go. You never know how politics is going to impact it. And you never know how much your fees are going to be and what's going to be hidden that you don't really know about. With Crash-Proof Retirement, our range of returns have been between 10 and 12%. I feel very comfortable with the returns we've gotten this year because we don't have to concern ourselves with the volatility of the market. And we never get charged a fee, never even comes up.
Schedule an appointment or register for our next event happening at the William Penn Inn on Tuesday, February 17th, starting at 5 p.m. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
If the cold weather has you thinking it's finally time to replace those old drafty windows and doors, then there is no better time than now to make your home more energy efficient while taking advantage of Guida's big winter sales event. My good friends at Guida Door and Window are extending their big winter sale through the month of January by offering 40% off every door and window you buy. That's right. Get 40% off each expertly installed energy efficient replacement window, which also includes free high-performance low-E glass. And if you're in need of a new door, you get 40% off any door, including insulated entry doors, sliding patio doors, garage doors, and storm doors. Plus, you can start your project with no money down and pay it off interest-free for up to 12 months. This offer is for a limited time only, so you have to act quickly. If your home needs new windows and doors, then call the experts at Guida today to schedule a free in-home estimate at 877-GO-GUIDA or visit them at GoGuida.com. That's go, GUIDA.com.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
The new era of UFC on Paramount Plus continues. Live from Australia. Featherweight champ Alexander Volkanovski.
He is an animal.
Defends his belt at home in an explosive rematch against Diego Lopez.
You gotta be kidding me!
And the always dangerous Dan Hooker. Yes. Throws down with powerhouse Benoit Saint-Denis in a high-action lightweight showdown.
Oh! There's never been anything like this. Yes.
UFC 325, Saturday, January 31st, only on Paramount Plus.
Free speech lives here with Kale and Company weekday mornings on Odyssey's #1 talk station, 1210 WPHT.
All right, Tom Giordano Show. Welcome in, 855-839-1210. So here is Stephen Colbert, even for Colbert now. And again, we made this point, particularly with the Springsteen song, no sense of emotional complexity, working class guys with ICE, just the ideology. Here's Colbert, this is cut 11, hitting it even farther. They are worse than Nazis.
Bavino went on complaining. Look, Dana, they're trying to portray Border Patrol agents and ICE agents as Gestapo, Nazi, and many other words.
Yes, do not compare ICE or Border Patrol agents to the Nazis. That's an unfair comparison. The Nazis were willing to show their faces.
All right. Does it get any lower? Look, we know he's being deported in May from the show. Does it, he has writers, et cetera, and all. Is that where we're going with this, though? So, yeah, it's a punchline. It's different. It ramps it up rather than just saying Nazis, Gestapo again. They're worse because they weren't show their faces. And this is one of the things Democrats want to continue this shutdown, no masking. Now, how many times have we been through the masking part? What the masking is about? Well, police don't wear masks. Yeah, we know that. Are we seeing? It's bad enough with cops in Philadelphia, with Krasner, the mob, etc. Why don't they wear masks, though? Because it's an all-out attempt to intimidate and stop people from joining or staying with ICE. They'll go after their kids and families. That's why the masking. That's what it's all about. The doxing that goes on is incredible, and it's being called for even by elected officials. So we're going to see if Democrats will die on that hill. You heard Jeff Andrew on the shutdown. As it stands now, it's shut down. We'll see if there's a compromise. 55-45, they voted to have a shutdown tomorrow night. Now, some Republican senators voted for it also. I'm not sure exactly why they voted for it. But that's where we are. And the bottom line is that the masking thing, and they want them to wear body cams. I'm okay with the body cam. But the mask part of it, they're worse than Nazis. Nazis were going to show you who they were. These guys will not do that. Wow. On a day where we're seeing clarity. So coming up, I want to play you. It's only 25 seconds. Elizabeth Warren, this is brilliantly done on Twitter, is in the bottom part of the screen you'll see at youtube.com/1210WPHT. And being read, she's reading out all the background of Mr. Peretti while we're seeing him actually in action in the film that's been verified. Now, that doesn't mean he should be shot. That doesn't mean he doesn't have a right to concealed carry. It plays right into my summation of him. Probably a good guy, ICU nurse and all that, who was radicalized by this and went nuts. I don't think he was a nurse anymore. Same thing with the woman in question. Good. Romanticize this all day long, blocking ICE. What do you think's going to happen? All right, we'll play that. Go to youtube.com/1210WPHT. We have Dom's Money Melody and a bunch of other stuff here on Talk Radio 1210. Let's first, though, talk about if you're tired of feeling worn out, maybe halfway through a workout, exhausted before the day even begins. If staying active matters to you, fuel your body with Rescue Orosine. Now, most people don't realize your body runs on ATP, the natural energy source that powers every muscle, every heartbeat, every step. But as we age, ATP production slows down, taking stamina and endurance with it. And that's where Rescue Orosine comes in. This cutting-edge formula with research-backed ingredients supports ATP production at the cellular level, so you can keep moving, keep your heart pumping, and keep doing what you love every day without jitters or crashes. Just use the code words, My Energy. My Energy. Buy one, get one free today at res-q.com or call a rescue product consultant, 800-26-ALIVE. Don't miss out. Again, that's 800-262-5483. Online, res-q.com. Get your second bottle of Rescue Orosine for free. Just use that code, all one word, My Energy at checkout.
Hey, it's Rich Ziola. You know, I love the opportunity to get a little range time in at Bob's little sports shop. And I want to tell you about a great event coming up on Saturday, February 7th from 6 p.m. It's Bob's Co-Ed Shoot. Now, look, you know I love Bob's Little Sports Shop. For over 60 years, they've been helping people just like us become safe, responsible gun owners. And this co-ed shoot is perfect for beginners or experienced shooters who want to learn to sharpen their skills. You don't need a firearms ID card. You don't need any experience to attend. You just need to show up, but space is limited, so register at bobslittle-sportshop.com. Bob's is all about helping you find the firearm for you and then learning how to use it, and they'll guide you through the entire process, start to finish, with all the paperwork to get your permit, and then, of course, sharpening your skills so you know how to properly defend yourself and your family. Go to bobslittle-sportshop.com right now and register for Bob's Co-Ed Shoot on Saturday, February 7th at 6 p.m. bobslittle-sportshop.com. This ad sponsored by Bob's Little Sports Shop.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-284-1238. 800-284-1238. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-284-1238.
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babbel. Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving.
Babbel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages, but now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. Babbel.com.
You know, this is one of those topics that no one really wants to think about, but if you're a parent, a homeowner, married, or helping take care of aging parents, it's something that honestly deserves a little attention. I'm talking about estate planning. And before you tune out thinking it's complicated or expensive, that's actually why I want to mention Trust and Will. Trust and Will makes estate planning feel way less intimidating than it sounds. They offer modern, attorney-designed wills and trusts that you can create online. And the process is surprisingly straightforward. In fact, you can create a will in as little as 30 minutes. That includes things like guardianship for your kids or pets, how your assets are distributed, and even healthcare directives. Don't wait until it's too late. Protect your loved ones with Trust and Will, the most trusted name in online estate planning. Go to trustandwill.com/plan to get 20% off. That's trustandwill.com/plan for 20% off. trustandwill.com/PLAN.
Okay, it is Dom time. Great side question today coming off this Anton Chekhov's gun. And hit us with that. We want possession, though, not just a name something was named after. It's got to really possess it is what we're looking for. And some I see up here, I don't think so. So maybe rethink it a little bit. We got that going on. You heard Jeff Andrew. We've been talking, too, about Tom Homan today and what appears to be a bravo performance, at least when I watched it this morning, in which he said things were not perfect, but there is a compromise to get the bad guys that are going to be deported at jail, where you only need a couple of people maybe to get them ready for deportation versus going out, those that are released in the community and all the difficulty with that. And he did talk about a drawdown. I haven't seen anybody that's supporting Trump say, well, this is an outrage. You know, you're doing something we didn't vote for. I don't see it going that way. By the way, the White House issued a statement about Stephen Miller that what Miller meant was what I said yesterday he meant. It was not he was critical of the officers if they heard gun or whatever in the shooting, but he wanted to know, and rightfully so. This is the big criticism. They said why additional force protection assets may have not been present to support the operation, whatever the operation is. So we had people calling this week saying, well, why do you need to do that? Local company, they're not going to do it. That's why. Paul Morrow is brilliant at this. He's the best on Fox, and we'll have him back soon. Right after Good was shot, we had him on the Monday after that. He said the same thing right in the beginning. You got a lot of people there, cordon off where you're doing an action to take somebody out that's targeted. Don't let them interfere. They never would have had Good aiming her car at anybody or aiming to flee, whatever it was. Same thing with this guy. Do not engage. Do not be there with them. Whoever you're targeting, get in, get out, have it surrounded so that you don't have this chaos. And I led today, and I want to play it again, Henry. It's the B of Mikey Sherrill. Mikey Sherrill on The Daily Show last night. And what she's going to do in Jersey if she gets away with it. Now, legally, this is going to be challenged big time. With all this going on and with what's happening in Minnesota, where based on this news conference today, I think you're going to see things lowered here because of the techniques of Homan. He gets it. Trump did the right thing here, putting him in. President Trump in the cabinet meeting today did not call on Kristi Noem. Is he going to get rid of her Homeland Security? Doesn't like to be forced to do that, I realize. I'm not going to be upset if he does. I don't know who they have in the wings, though. This is a critical position to put in charge of this. I don't think you want to put Homan in charge of that because you can see how difficult it is with deportation, ICE, et cetera. You want to keep him on that. I don't know. I haven't heard who the candidate might be, but she could go. That's possible. And Corey Lewandowski, when he comes on, he's a great Trump supporter and all that, but he's a bull in a china shop. He's involved in this too. In the middle of this, when things are going better, though, here's Mikey Sherrill last night talking about a portal. She's going to set up a state portal. And that's not private like ICE Watch or something. That's bad enough. This is the government of the state of New Jersey to alert people to ICE in their community. And what will that mean? It will mean more confrontation. Here's Mikey Sherrill.
Allow any ICE raids to be staged from state properties. And we are also going to be standing up a portal so people can upload all their cell phone videos and alert people. Like if you see an ICE agent in the street, get your phone out.
Yes.
We want to know. Because they have not been forthcoming. They will pick people up. They will not tell us who they are.
Right.
They will not tell us if they're here legally. They won't check. They'll pick up American citizens. They picked up a 5-year-old child. We want documentation, and we are going to make sure we get it.
All right. So, again, this will be challenged legally. There's going to be a lot on this. I don't know if other states are doing this yet, but this is Mikey Sherrill. This is what you voted for. Yeah, but affordability. Jack Chitterell, 14 points. It was about Trump hatred. This is cut 2300. Here's Homan, because there is a lot coming out of Minnesota about the network of donors, signal chats, even some of them foreign, that are fomenting some of this stuff, certainly paying for the resources. Now, are some of these people paid? I have no doubt in the world they are. They can't subsist otherwise. Is it all of them? No. There are people that legitimately, like anything else, that are there. Some of them are there just to protest. Some of them are there. They become radicalized, I think, like Prietti. And as a result of that, you see what could happen. But here is Homan laying out what's going to happen about all these donors and these foreign donors in particular. Here's Homan.
Well, first of all, about the organization and the funding of the attacks on ICE. I'm not going to answer a lot about that because I'm not going to show our hand, but they'll be held accountable. Justice is coming. Again, we got to all remember why the questions we've seen and why we're here. What started this? 4 years of an open border where millions of people are letting this country unvetted. Remember, let's not forget, for 4 years we were told the border's secure. 4 years we were told the border's secure. And we all knew it wasn't. And I want this to be a positive thing we're doing here today. I also want to remember the politicians are continually attacking us. Where were they the last 4 years when the number of women, children, sex trafficking went all-time high? Where were they when 250,000 Americans died from fentanyl coming across the border? Where were they when women and children are dying making that journey? Where were they when over 4,000 aliens making that journey died? Historic record. Where were they? Not a word. Now we're just trying to respond to what happened the last 4 years and keeping this country safe. And we're arresting a lot of public safety threats, take them off the streets, which make this country safer. President Trump promised to make this country safe again, and that's what we're doing. But my 2.5 days up here, we made a lot of progress. I think everybody agrees on the criminal and public safety threats. They agree it's much safer and easier to arrest an alien in a facility than send a whole team out in the field that's going to draw anger, because now we got to send a bunch of people to do something that could have been done by 1 or 2 people.
All right, so that's Homan. That's part of the highlights. This is cut 16. Here is Elizabeth Warren, teased at the last hour. Picture youtube.com/1210 WPHT. Here's Warren in the lower screen prattling on about Prietti, and then the screen is filled with his actions. Doesn't mean, again, he should be shot. Doesn't mean he was even a bad guy. My take on him is he probably wasn't. He was in ICU, and he got radicalized. And I think he dropped being a nurse and seems like he was almost exclusively engaged in stuff like this. Again, I got to think about spitting. I understand, the heat of the action, but spitting, kicking out the taillight, I understand that. Can we just agree? You never can spit. You just can't spit. It's like kicking a person when they're down. You can't do that either. You're in a fight, you can't kick them when they're down. It doesn't work that way. And you can't spit, ever. No spitting. If you spit, something's just fundamentally wrong here. Listen to Elizabeth Warren. Here's how it sounded.
Caring for people was at the core of who he was. He was incapable of causing harm. Alex carried patience, compassion, and calm as a steady light within him. Even at the very end, that light was there. I recognized his familiar stillness and signature calm composure.
All right. The footage, which is unauthenticated, doesn't indicate that. So my take is we're not going to run this guy down in depth in this situation, full investigation, et cetera. But it appears to me the guy that they knew, the guy that had volunteered and all those good things, had been radicalized by whatever elements. And what you saw 11 days or so before this happened is a guy reacting and out of control, spitting, kicking out the light, the whole thing. I wish they had arrested him. I don't know why they didn't in that situation. He ended up with a broken rib in the confrontation. So it's not to run him down and say he was not the things that Warren said, but they're ignoring one of the reasons we're trying to give the full picture here is it gets at confrontation. It gets at bringing his weapon and 2 extra magazines, extended magazines, to this situation. It gives you context. It doesn't say, yes, he got killed, so what? All right, Dan in Richboro. Dan's on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Dan, thanks for the wait. Go right ahead.
No problem, Dom. I was going to try to have fun and say, I forgot why I called. But Alzheimer's is more prevalent today than it ever has been. RFK thinks there's a link between Alzheimer's and too much sugar, your A1C being too high. They call it stage 3 or whatever it is. It's past when you have whatever. But anyway, I'm going to go with Alois Alzheimer's disease.
That is a very good one. Yep, that identifies. That's a possessive. We know the guy's name, et cetera, associated with it. Yes.
I didn't do the joke.
Yes, I'm glad he didn't. Then he did it and tell us why he didn't do it. That's Stephen Colbert should have tried that. As I told you, the breaking news at this point, and I'm not sure why the Republicans voted here, but some of them did. 55-45, they voted not to keep the government open tomorrow night. Now you're going to hear it's a long time, 24 hours, midnight. Jeff Andrews said only a partial shutdown, all true, but it doesn't look good to me, and it's revolving mostly around ICE. I don't know what the other, I don't think it's Nome's got to go or we're not going to do the bill. I don't think Trump would give in under those circumstances, but I don't think people are going to die on the hill of Kristi Noem either here. I told you I was impressed with her when we were in the spin room together. But the stuff that she was saying, the over-the-top stuff of this, look at Homan, compare that to Bovino and Kristi Noem. He wouldn't have gotten caught up. There's no reason to make this more and to go down that road here. He mastered the balance of this. Hey, if you're here illegally, that's still on the table, but we're mainly going after the bad guys. Joe in Columbus, Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Joe.
Tom, between Elizabeth Warren, first of all, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thank you, Joe.
Between Elizabeth Warren and Bruce Springsteen, I just, first of all, Elizabeth Warren seemed like she was very intimate with Alex, that she knew him all so well that he was so incapable of doing this.
Mm-hmm.
But like Springsteen, I think these people, and I don't want to let them off the hook by saying they're so emotionally driven that they speak before they think. But how could Springsteen come out with a song so soon and be so correct about it? It's just, you're supposed to sink some time into your thoughts, don't you?
Joe, and I would point, rather than, to your point, the guy writing in the Wall Street Journal and John Andrasik, who I think will have a shot at getting on, they're not just sledgehammering him. They're saying what you're saying, and they're saying, where's the compassion for working class guys that he always talks about with these ICE people, just calling them monsters and thugs and just rushing the streets of Minneapolis? How many times has he gone with that?
Well, that's why I don't go to movies anymore. I just am solely disillusioned by anything that has to do with Hollywood. Could I be robbing myself of some good productions? Sure, but I just don't want to cater by purely principle. I don't want to cater to what they have to do, say, or lend.
Joe, let me ask you to that point, because I'm getting very nervous. I've been talking to Jack Posobiec and some others. I'm not seeing that this is going to be so good, the alternative halftime show on the Super Bowl. I'm going to watch it because we're going to be talking about all that stuff. Are you going to watch Bad Bunny?
No, you have to watch it. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
There's too many other things. It just, they do that. Well, like we've always said for years and years, they try and cater that day to everybody, but they're really going overboard with it. But there's a funny anecdote or rumor about Springsteen. Every time he got in a fight, I don't mean to keep going back to him, but I got too much on him. Every time he got in a fight with his dad, and it would end with him storming out the door, the father would look at the mother and say, "That guy's going to write another song about me now, isn't he?"
Yeah. Well, you know who I talk about that? Travis Kelce so far has avoided that curse, but what was her MO before that? These guys, and then they would leak out who she's talking about and how it ended up and the same churning. What's the allure?
That Hollywood allure is just so strong, but it's so my dad knew Bo Belinsky, and he used to call Hollywood Sodom and Gomorrah. It's just a perverted, convoluted place. And
yeah, but he was dating Mamie Van Doren and all those guys. Bo Belinsky, picture Bo Belinsky today. These guys never, Joe, don't have a sense of what it was like with those women Belinsky was with. What it'd be like today with social media and all. Oh my God.
You couldn't be able to hide a secret. I mean, it turned him into an alcoholic, but he righted his life later in life. He became an advocate for substance abuse, which was good. But
your side, Joe.
My side comes from an old British war admiral who specialized in strategies and overcoming his opponent, and that was a gentleman by the name of Horatio Nelson, who they say gave advent to the full Nelson, the half Nelson, the submission hold.
Thank you, Joe, very much.
Oh, man.
I don't think we hear enough Horatios anymore. I don't think guys have ever run into an Horatio.
I always liked that name.
Now, I had a student in class named Mona Lisa Jackson. You don't forget a name like that. One of the first years I taught.
Much.
Yeah, common name, and then in front of it, Mona Lisa.
Oh, that's too rich.
It's a nice juxtaposition between
exactly.
the two. Yeah.
All-time name. Yeah, exactly.
I can only imagine Admiral Nelson going around just putting people in like a full Nelson. Like, can we get this guy out of here? Like, he's so annoying. Like,
exactly. All right, the name thing is going really well, and Anton Chekhov's gun. You can let me know on Twitter. Did you know that? These guys did. I did, and I'll fess up to it. I'm still saying I don't quite get that.
This might be a poll here.
Yeah. But I might put that up. These people were lying. Oh, I knew about Anton Chekhov's gun.
Of course.
And it was the Cherry Orchard, I think, and I don't remember I'm going to mangle the title. Is it Uncle Vanya, V-A-N-Y-A, that he wrote to? Was that another Russian? That's the only two that I think I know of him. The Cherry Orchard, I remember the orchard, but Vanya, V-A-Y.
Uncle Vanya.
Uncle Vanya, yeah. Is that it?
Yeah, that is one of his works.
Okay.
Yeah.
He wasn't the Dollhouse guy, which is better. I think that guy was he Russian? No. The Dollhouse is pretty good. But Uncle Vanya, man, these are dense plays. And the Cherry Orchard, just here, come on now, a Cherry Orchard. All right. Is he the most famous Russian playwright, or is it a Pazinski or one of those guys? I'm not, I don't think the Russians were great playwrights per se. All right. Great Seinfeld, though, with the guy who loved Tolstoy. If you've never seen that Seinfeld.
Oh, was it the beeper?
Yeah,
right?
the beeper.
Yeah.
Oh, then when
It's
he
that
writes,
noise.
when he writes it and hands it to him and hands him the book like that. The sneakers. What is it with the Americans with the sneakers? All right, 855-839-1210. You'll get in right now, though. It is time for...
It's Dom's Money Melody.
Has all the money gone?
Yes, and today we're playing for a pair of tickets to Bucks County Paracon, the third annual Paranormal Conference on February 28th at the ZLOC Performing Arts Center. We love the ZLOC in Bucks County. For tickets and more information, visit bucks.edu/tickets. Oh, brought to you, by the way, by the Navy League Philly, NavyLeaguePhilly.org. Great guys. I've told you a lot about them. Every day they sponsor our Money Melody. Go to NavyLeaguePhilly.org. Navy, Marines, Coast Guard. They do all kinds of events. Encourage kids to join the services. NavyLeaguePhilly.org. Henry?
Yeah, Dom. Side question, like we were just talking about. We're asking for something named after somebody, like Chekhov's gun,
Right.
of that sort. Couldn't exactly find a song like that, but I am going to play a song named after somebody. And that would be, of course, the often played at sporting events, Sweet Caroline.
Oh, yes.
So, simply enough, I am going to play you a cover of Sweet Caroline. I want to know the name of the sports team covering the song here. That's all I'm going to give you about this, because only so many actually sing that song. So I'm going to play this. Bonus points if you can actually tell me the players singing. But yeah, I want to know the name of the team covering Sweet Caroline here. That's all I'm giving you for this. That's
kind of vanilla, not
it's
bad,
vanilla.
but
I mean, they're
vanilla,
not
yes.
singers; they're
Yeah,
athletes. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, athletes. Ah.
That's what I'm saying. There's 4 members of this team from a few years back who covered Sweet Caroline here, and yeah, I want to know the name of the team. Bonus points if you can give me the players.
All right. It's not pickleball. It's not rugby. It's something else.
I won't rule out anything like that.
Okay. Oh, okay. 855-839-1210. Jump in. You get the belt, and you get to go to the ZLOC here on Talk Radio 1210.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli here with my friend Matt from Emmons Roofing and Siding. If you're like me, your house took a real beating this winter from all the snow, ice, and storms.
At Emmons Roofing and Siding, we're here to put it back together. We specialize in storm-resistant roofing and siding systems designed to last no matter what Mother Nature throws at it.
Well, Emmons is who I use and recommend, so call Emmons today at 856-556-3229 for a free roof inspection.
Or visit us at callemmons.com.
Callemmons.com. Emmons, protecting homes, one roof at a time.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
So many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. And each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
announcing that gold has surpassed $5,000 an ounce, and silver is at an all-time high as well. If you need cash to help pay those bills, then you must go to the Estates Roadshow. Gold and silver, old rings, chains, and even broken jewelry. Don't wait. Cash in while gold and silver are hot. 3 locations this week: Chestnut Hill, Bensalem, and Doylestown. Bring your gold, silver, coins, diamonds, and watches, even broken pieces, and get cash on the spot. The prices of gold and silver are at an all-time high, so there's never been a better time to sell. No appointments, no fees, no pressure, just friendly professional buyers with over 35 years in the business. Go to the Estates Roadshow, Monday through Friday in Chestnut Hill at the Chestnut Hill Hotel, in Bensalem at the Courtyard by Marriott, and in Doylestown at the Doylestown Inn. Get some cash in your hands today to help pay those bills at the Estates Roadshow. For more info, visit estatesroadshow.com and follow Estates Roadshow on Facebook for all upcoming events.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55, but unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
This is Mike Quick. PDQ POS is the MVP of point-of-sale solutions. Easy to use with the best support in the industry. And it doesn't take a bite out of your sales with costly fees. It's the choice of all concept food service businesses across the country. PDQ POS has real-time analytics and insights to evaluate your team and your play calling. PDQ POS has been rated the #1 point of sale by restaurant owners for more than 35 years. So don't wait. Make the switch. PDQ POS today. Visit pdqpos.com.
Now, you can listen to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
It's Dom Money Melody.
Where has all the money gone?
Show me the money.
That is right. All right, let's hear the cover today of Sweet Caroline and tell us who's singing it.
Yep, want the sports team covering this song.
Okay.
Or the players.
Or the players. All right, let's go to Ed in Pennsauken. Okay, Ed, what team is it?
Red Sox.
Yes, very nice, Ed. That's what I was going to guess, too. I thought they were the obvious. They had a little bit of sound. Who were the players?
So the players, this was back in 2012 to celebrate 100 years of Fenway Park.
Okay.
The 4 players were Darnell McDonald, Ryan Kalish, Hall of Famer David Ortiz, and Phillies legend Clay Buchholz.
I don't hear Ortiz in there, though.
I don't think we've gotten to his part yet.
Okay.
I purposely tried to play around
right.
him as not completely give it away. But
all right, that's good stuff. Winner, Ed, congratulations. Go off to this lock. You get the belt for today. We'll do it all again tomorrow. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. AT&T and Verizon Wireless will take more of your calls. Headlines. People saying that ICE is getting a stunning new order from top brass about engaging protesters. All Homan put out was, do not engage with the protesters. Don't go back and forth. Don't be arguing with them. Don't engage. Stay away from that if you can. That's where the coordinating comes out. Get out of there. Do the target. Hopefully, they're going to be giving them some information on that. Plus, they're going to do most of these people at jail now, pick them up there, and get out of there. There's nothing wrong with that. This isn't about going in there and getting into it with these mobs, per se. It's about figuring out a way to stop the mobs from interfering with this. I'll tell you this, though. If ICE comes to Philadelphia in any kind of more massive manner, it is going to be on Larry Krasner for the stuff that he said. We're going to see if the words that he's uttered here are not, in somehow or another, inciting. I think they could be. By the way, according to several sources today, Of the 54 local enforcement agencies participating in the 287G program in Pennsylvania, only 2, so there's 54, Bucks County, you remember, our buddy Fred with that, only 2 are in the greater Philadelphia region. None in Delaware, none in Jersey, in our area. The Lansdowne Borough Constable's Office, now I think they serve warrants, they do something of that nature, right? So you can understand why they may be involved, has a 287G agreement with ICE under its task force model, as does the Pennsylvania State Constable Office, Honeybrook, Precinct 1 in Chester County. This, according to ICE's online database, last updated January 27. So good for those 2 outfits. I don't know if they want to come on and publicize that or not. But those are the 2 we don't have in our area, and I'm trying to be generous with that. We don't have anybody else that signed the 287G. Mainly, these are across other parts of Pennsylvania, more rural and the like. And you may remember from the conversations with Fred Herron, all they were doing was assisting logistically. We had Danny Seisler on. We went back and forth, the new sheriff. They were not engaged in actually going out there in an immigration sense. I think 287G is spectacular. I wish more would do it. I'm glad that Honeybrook and Lansdowne are doing it. Now, I was thinking, should I mention that or not? Yeah, I did. I'm glad to praise them, and it's our constable's office that are involved in this for engaging in it. We have a 0 for our area then. None. And given the suburbs, is it surprising? That's why in Bucks County, Fred did the right thing by engaging in this. And I still don't think the election was about that, though. I'm sure it played. The election was about seething people in the suburbs, unable to get at Trump, and going after people like Fred Herron, and in Jersey, going after Jack Ciattarelli and Jen Shorn, who was a spectacular prosecutor. That's what it was about. And you know my stance. They're going to continue to have that seething into the midterms. I see a lot of good things that Trump is doing, and I think Trump sending Homan into this is taking some of the fire out of this and is doing it the right way. Again, the moment that has to be reached, though, and I can't tell, Trump in his heart of hearts, I think, realizes he's got to do something to get the reluctant Trump voter out there. So he thinks, and they're telling him 2 things. Do the rallies, which he loves to do, they're entertaining, and say, Trump is on the ticket. In other words, I'll be impeached, et cetera, et cetera. I don't think that's enough. And I keep asking you, do you think it's enough? And nobody's told me, no, that is enough. I don't think so. So if we don't have this wonderful platform, this wonderful mechanism, I just wish more people would not be afraid to say that. Because people want to hear it's positive. Look at all the positive things he's doing. I'm great. That's a foundation. But the critical thing is turnout. And I'll bet anything they're going to have turnout because they're haters. You see the ferocity of this, and you see it right here in our suburbs. You see these white women at events. We feature some of them every day. We're working on something to feature it even more, putting the point on it. They're going to do another in March, No Kings 3, like it's a movie franchise. I'm sure they'll do a 4th in the summer and then a 5th right before the election. Yeah, but look at all this. I get it. It's emotional. It's crazed. It's a syndrome, and it's Trump. They can't get at Trump. They know they can't get him out of office. They know they can impeach him, and it doesn't matter. What's the next best thing? Tear apart these Republicans. Brian Fitzpatrick might survive that. These others are really going to need our help. McKenzie's a good guy. These other Republicans, Perry's been excellent. They are under a ferocious everyday attack, though. We can help with that. And the biggest help is to tell people, if you don't vote, don't talk to me. Just don't talk to me. I'm going to ask that question right now. In this upcoming midterms, you have somebody who supports us and they say, that's not worth it. They come up with bogus stuff. Yeah, mail-in bow at the post office corrupt. Well, we've talked. How many alternatives have we given? I would just tell them, hey, don't talk to me. You just have to vote. What are we talking about here? Is it that hard? Well, I'm not turned on this time. We'll get turned on. 855-839-1210.
It's a new year, and there's no better time to invest in your smile than right now. It's 2026, and this is the year that you want healthier teeth, greater confidence, and care you can trust. So make your appointment now with Dr. Mike Veneria at Veneria Dental. With Dr. Mike, it's not about cost, it's about care. His compassion and commitment to your health is his top priority, and I should know he's my dentist. And for over 12 years, Dr. Mike has been recognized by his peers as a master of complex dental surgery and procedures. He treats other doctors. He's the guy the experts call the expert in handling complex dental surgeries and procedures. So, my entire family goes to Dr. Mike, and when it comes to your health, you don't cut corners. That's why it's so important. You go to the best and only the best. With 2 offices to serve you in Cinnaminson and Woodbury. Make your appointment to get your free dental implant consultation today. If you already had an estimate, get a second opinion. It's worth doing. This is your smile we're talking about. VeneriaDental.com, VANARIA, VeneriaDental.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Your day doesn't wait. Between the school run, the office, and the grocery list, you need to know what's happening in Philly now, not an hour from now.
At KYW News Radio, we're obsessed with your quality of life. That means real-time traffic for your commute, weather that actually helps you plan your weekend, and fearless reporting on the local leaders making decisions that affect your wallet.
Stay connected. Stay informed. Tell your smart speaker to play KYW News Radio.
Valentine's Day may feel a little ways off, but more people than ever are planning ahead because they want this year to really count. If you're thinking about doing something truly special, now is the time to visit Paul at Cozy Jewelers, located in Newtown Square. Paul takes the time to understand what you're looking for and helps you create a piece that's meaningful, personal, and unforgettable. This Valentine's Day, step up to the 5th C. Color, cut, clarity, carat, and cozy. Start early, plan it right, and make it a moment they'll never forget. Visit Cozy Jewelers in Newtown Square.
Broadcasting live from the Piazza Auto Group studios. Experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
All right, it is Dom time. Inquire big visual and using drones, I guess, showing the streets of Philadelphia. Why is there so much snow still on Philadelphia streets? Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, who's the #1 snow guy? He ought to be the guy that's answering. So, Henry, did you dig out of space and then mark it off, or did you say, no, I can't do that?
So I just drove around until I found a space.
Okay.
I didn't dig any out, but like even this, I mean, it was just covered in ice.
Right.
Right. So it was enough that I could get on it and park on it, but like pulling out like to come here today, like I was spinning for a second. I was like, oh God, am I gonna actually get out of this? And I had to get some momentum by backing up and then quickly like, shoving it in drive and going forwards. Yeah, so no, I haven't done it yet. We'll see how the parking situation is when I go home later. Maybe I will have to dig it out. So
you use somebody else's space, though. In a pinch, you're in
it's not like anyone dug it out, though.
Oh, okay.
That's
No
what I'm
dugout.
saying. It was
Right,
all
yeah.
ice and snow.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just
That's
so many people have driven over it now that it's
that's
almost its own
down.
space. Yeah.
But it is shocking. Look, I get it. It was fairly significant, and there was an icing factor. But this is not acceptable. I mean, Sherelle Parker ought to be out there explaining, saying we'll do better.
Like I get you can't just put it anywhere, but like there had to be some sort of plan for this. Like whether that's like on a corner or something, but like just having it everywhere on the street is ridiculous.
And hearing her, 600 vehicles, and I remember ATVs are going to be used. And look, the smaller streets, somewhat on this, you got to expect it. In South Philly, but the 21st Street I took today, same thing. Clogging up traffic. 20th Street still has that. It's days after. They're saying, hey, this is it. This is what you get. We're done. Really?
Yeah, it's like we knew this storm was coming like for so long. Like you didn't have a better plan than just like, we're going to do the regular old plowing. Like, no. This is like a foot of snow here. Like we need answers. We need
and this is a mayor who has been good on cleaning Philadelphia clean and green and all that. What's the response? Well, this is what happens when you have a place who she's going to be the mayor this time and next time. When you have a place where it's a one-horse town, so to speak, and that's the way it is, then she doesn't really answer to anybody. People can scream, they can get upset. What would it take? You won't even see a Democrat ever run. It's rare against whoever the incumbent mayor is. That's what they're telling you, so it doesn't matter. There's no apology. There's nothing. Now, Philadelphia Public Schools are back today. I don't know if they started 2 hours late and are going to dismiss 3 hours early. Well, wait a minute. I'm sure learning is proceeding apace today. All right, let's go to Jim in Boyertown. He's on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Jim. Yo, Jim.
Okay.
Yeah, Jim, go right ahead. What do you have today?
Okay. Sorry, I was just finishing up on a piece of Costco pizza.
Oh, wait a minute. The Costco pizza, was it $9.95?
No, this was just a slice. That was $1.99.
You should have gotten the whole pizza. It's more valuable. How was it? How would you rate it?
Oh, it was delicious as usual.
Okay, good. The Costco pizza is a hit, Henry. I got to try it. Okay. Well, I did.
Okay.
DJ had it. Yeah. Go ahead, Jim.
Okay. All right. Anyway, when I was growing up in the early to mid 1960s, there was a very popular TV series about World War II entitled Combat.
Mm-hmm.
The lead character was an actor, Vic Morrow, who played Sergeant Saunders on the show. And the weapon he carried was invented by Brigadier General John Thompson. Anyway, the answer to my side question today is the Tommy gun.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, but it's still not Thompson's name, right? You know what I mean? Tommy.
Well, they definitely called him Tommy then.
Maybe they did.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll put it down for that.
John Lennon, Lenny.
Yeah, this is going to be tough at the end. Drew of Upper Darby, though, has got some thoughts before the side here. Hey, Drew, what do you have today? Hi.
Hey, Dom. Thanks a lot. Hey, Dom, we share the same thoughts on the midterms about the turnout, and if the Republicans would take what Larry Krasner said, his spewing of all that rhetoric, if they would use that as a TV ad across America, day in and day out, and when the Americans hear that, maybe it would enforce them to, would help them turn out in the vote.
Well, look, I agree,
all the help we can get.
He uses the magic word there when he says, hunt you down to police officers. That's right.
That's exactly what I mean. Americans don't want to hear that.
Right.
I mean, that's such intimidation, man. You know, that's going to get a lot of people out, but they have to market it. They have to get it out there. That rhetoric that he's spewing. Yeah, so, hey, Dom, on my side, in the court of law, if the evidence is overwhelmingly against you, and you know you're innocent, but you have no shot of being presumed innocent, you could plea what is called an Alford's plea. That is where you know the evidence is against you. You're not going to be innocent, but if you plea an Alford's plea, it's kind of like you're not going to be punished as harshly.
Thank you, Drew. Yeah, that is a good one. Now, it's a little bit in the weeds. You know, the average person doesn't hear that. That's true, though. Ipso facto, mandamus, law school. Yeah, I remember the Alford thing that you can do. I'm surprised we didn't get any legal stuff so far. And we stuck away from the medical. You know, they're kind of gone with right. How would we know? We got ones that pop. I see. Let me throw this one around so we can be thinking about it because we have connection to this guy. Let's go to Bill in Montco. Bill, what's yours today?
Yeah, Tommy John surgery. You know, he started it. It worked miracles for him, and now that's the name for that type of surgery that athletes have done, baseball players have done.
Yeah, and how is Tommy John with that in 288, is it, or so, wins, not in the Hall of Fame? It's amazing.
Right. But we'll remember him forever because of his surgery. So look on the positive side.
All right. And, you know, it's become so common that when you hear people have it, they don't go, oh, no. The Phillies pitcher, Painter, right, had Tommy John. Yeah. They just go, oh, yeah, I had Tommy John. He'll come back for that even stronger.
Players are getting it in high school so they can just get it out of the way and get their arm back stronger.
I think that's just my gut instinct. Something wrong with that. I hear they are doing it, though.
Well, I mean, that's the way baseball's gone. It's no longer pinpoint throwing, low 80 or high 80s. Right. It's 110 on the black. Like, you got to.
But the folly of doing that, if you have to, I get it. But deciding almost as a course here, we've gone a bridge too far. I think these surgeons are a little bit too cocky about this, but we'll see. All right. It is the lightning round. This has been a great one today. Hit us with that all-time name attached to something. You really got to attach it. That's what we're emphasizing. You do that at 855-839-1210.
Hey, this is Larry Stitus with Investor Schooling. How many times are you going to listen to my voice before you finally go to investorschooling.com? I can't believe you haven't signed up for a class yet. You're going to learn real estate investing. You're going to learn stock options trading. You're going to learn things about money that you didn't even know existed. Go to investorschooling.com right now. Oh my goodness. This Thursday, investorschooling.com, and take that free class. See you there.
Rhea here to tell you about the excitement happening now at Lexus of Cherry Hill. The L Certified Winter Collection Sales Event is on. New year, new ride. Get special finance rates on L Certified Lexus models now through March 2nd. With over 300 new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from, your next Lexus is waiting. Family and veteran-owned and operated, Lexus of Cherry Hill is proud to be an 8-time J.D. Power Dealer of Excellence for customer sales experience. Start your journey today at lexusofcherryhill.com.
For J.D. Power Dealer of Excellence information, visit jdpower.com/US-DOE.
When it comes to iconic snacks, there's a reason Tasty Cake has been a favorite for generations. From peanut butter candy cakes to butterscotch crippets, Tasty Cake delivers the classics you know and love. Baked fresh and packed with flavor. Perfect for lunch, dessert, or any time in between. Look for Tasty Cake wherever snacks are sold. Tasty Cake. Accept no substitutes.
Find your perfect home with American Heritage Credit Union's MyCU Home Connection program. The perfect solution for home buyers and sellers. Enjoy lower rates, variety of terms, and access to exclusive savings benefits like a 20% cash reward. Get peace of mind with our experienced team who's been helping home buyers since 1964. Visit AmericanHeritageCU.org/home connection to apply for a free pre-approval today. Insured by the NCUA. Equal Housing Opportunity. Not a member? Join today. NMLS 433838.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55, but unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Real sports talk for real sports fans. What's up, everybody? I'm Nick Costos, and you can catch You Better You Bet with me weekday mornings 9 to noon Eastern on the new Westwood One Sports. From being live from Radio Row for the big game to being joined by the biggest names in sports and entertainment, it's sports talk for people that love sports. Download the Odyssey app and listen from anywhere. It's You Better You Bet with me, Nick Costos, live and interactive Monday through Friday, 9 to noon Eastern, presented by BetMGM on Westwood One Sports.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
The time has come for the final test.
We usually call it the lightning round.
Yes, that is exactly right. Great one today. Naming something is coming off Anton Chekhov's gun. Who knew? By the way, David Axelrod is one of the better Democrat strategists. He's out there today warning Democrats not to campaign on abolishing ICE. I would agree with him. They shouldn't do that, but they will, and that's good. Because what they ought to do is say affordability, affordability, affordability. That gives them something on the marquee, and you know deep down what it is, though. You hate Trump. We want to tear apart every Republican because we can't get at Trump. Do not run on abolishing ICE. Don't give it away, he's saying. We know we do all these things. Nuremberg trials, chasing them down and all that. You don't have to do that. Just remind them that Trump is there. That's exactly what they're running on. What is our counter to that? All these great policies and all, true. How do we turn out the base of voters that came aboard in 2024, though? The MAGA base of reluctant voters. That, to me, that's what it's about. Let's get busy doing it. Everything else falls into place. All right, let's go to Joe in Exton. Joe, you're on Talk Radio 1210. Joe, what do you have today?
Yes. Hello, Dom, and good afternoon.
Afternoon, Joe.
The religious sect called Quaker gave us William Penn, founder of a state known as Pennsylvania, a.k.a. Penn's Woods.
Thank you, Joe, very much. I really like this next one. I think somebody moved it up, and I see why here, because it's not in the weeds, this one. Everybody knows it, and it was the first one that I remember that was popularized. Yeah, Justin in Sicklerville. Justin, what do you have?
Hi, Dom. I wanted to recommend Lou Gehrig's disease.
All right, tell us why.
I don't really know much about it other than it was named after Lou Gehrig had it.
Okay. All right. Henry, a little disappointed there. It's such a good one.
I thought he was going to go with the Sopranos quote there. Isn't it ironic that Lou Gehrig died of Lou Gehrig's disease?
There you go. That's such a good one, though, that it matches. I wanted a little more from the call, you know? And do you know one of the reasons why? I know he was beamed 7 times and once at second base, and they think there's some connection to that. Why I got, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a lot. Not wearing a helmet back then, too. Let's see. Zenos in Upper Darby, Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Zenos.
Good afternoon, Don, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Zenos. Thank you.
Mine is gerrymandering. With the guy from up there in New England trying to stack the deck like they're doing today. That's the one I have, and the caller before that. That would have been a good one too, because I believe it was a neurological disorder with Lou Gehrig's. But I have to go with gerrymandering.
All right, thanks. It's a great one, but I don't know that the possessive is there.
Yeah,
you need the possessive. That's what we're trying.
Maybe at one point it was Jerry's mandering, but
right.
It comes one word.
Yeah. Maybe I could take a quick one here. Steve in Bordentown. Steve, what's yours?
Mine is he's called the father of basically modern music. His name was Lester William Pulfus, but we all know him as Les Paul, invented the electric guitar.
All right, Les Paul's guitars. I think that said a lot. All right, Henry, You're a lone man in there, right? What do you have?
Yeah, I'll give Sean's real quick. He liked Dennis and Salem counties with the Occam's Razor.
Okay,
and he liked David and Lexington's with Earl of Sandwich. The ones I thought that were the best and followed the structure clearest and had concise answers as to why they gave their answers, I thought were Jim and Boyertown with the Tommy gun, Drew and Upper Darby with Alfred's plea, and Bill and Montco with the Tommy John surgery. And I did like Steve's answer there at the end of the Les Paul guitars.
Okay, I like the Tommy John surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that match is what we were looking for. It's indelible. It's attached to it. It's prominent. And why is that guy not in the Hall of Fame? I mean, these Hall of Fame things are, I
mean, if you let Harold Baines in, you might as well let the guy who was the most famous surgery named after him.
Yeah, but when you get that close, he's a compiler, but when you get that close to 300 wins, something about that still is appealing to me.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay. Tomorrow, we already had some people lined up. We're ready to go. Everything in the news. Thanks to Sean and Henry for producing today. Follow me on Twitter at DomShow1210, at DomShow1210. And again, great question today. Anton Chekhov's gun. You see where the side questions come from?
Mm-hmm.
You can never tell. This week we did it with some, I even forget the guy's name now. But Tony Bruno, Miss Robin,